In the landscape of figure photography, one group strived for tangible and dynamic displays.
No time to explain. Get in the rows.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, let's go.
We are live, Bug. Oh, we are live. Yes, sir.
We're officially back at it.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say, is even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene. Days go by, it's the bigger love of the family.
The Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast is filmed in front of a live virtual audience and is funded in part by viewers just like you. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. Bug Nice coming at you with the Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast, episode 399.
Is it?
Right?
No, 390.
390 what?
I think we lost him.
All right. Well, nobody knows, so I'm going to say it's 399. How about that?
Works for me.
All right.
Okay.
I'm your host, Bug Nice. Got my boy with me, D. Walt. Rick will be back here shortly. Pancho will be joining us after 9 p.m. All right, there's Rick. He's back.
Yeah. But
What episode is it?
Boog's flub made me so mad. I had to leave.
What's the episode number?
I think we're like at 340 something.
All right.
I thought
I'm
you were
terrible with numbers.
serious fact finding just now. My man was just mad in the air.
Listen, man, you gotta say it with conviction, even though it's not true. P says 338. I don't know where I got 399.
You know what? Maybe you were thinking 339 and then you just like flipped it in your head.
That's true. I do remember 333 some time ago. All right, 338 sounds about right. Okay. So episode 338, it is November 8th, 2024. It's been a wild week. We just had our election in America.
Yeah. Are you
Wait,
sure?
that was this week?
That was this week, man.
Oh man, I forgot to vote for Juhn in the election.
I
Yep.
missed the whole thing.
So, 47th president of the United States of America will be Donald John Trump.
Is that
He
his
was
middle
also-
name? I thought it was Jerry.
Jerry.
Jerry
ha-
Trump.
You know what? My wife asked me this tonight. Has there ever been a time where a president won and then wasn't reelected and then got elected again? Has this ever happened
It's
before?
only happened one other time.
Yeah, it's happened
Oh,
once
yeah?
before. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I forget who it was, but we looked it up on election night, and yeah, he's only the second president to ever do this.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, congratulations to him and to MAGA. How you guys feeling? How y'all feeling about the election and where we are right now in the country? Real quick.
I'm disappointed. I'm sad,
Mhm.
but life goes on, and I'm just glad that I live in the state of California.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's real. Well, as a former Californian who now lives in Georgia, I don't know, man. I have my concerns. You and I, we talk a lot
To put it
about
lightly.
different things, and you were very optimistic that Kamala was going to win, and I was very pessimistic. I recognize the country that we live in. I saw someone post online that Trump has ran for president 3 times now. Twice he ran against a woman, and has won both of those elections. And the one time that he ran against a man, he lost.
I said the exact same thing the other day to Ashley. I said the exact same thing. I said he only beat women.
Yeah. And it's crazy because people talk a lot of trash about Biden. People didn't really like Biden. People didn't think Biden was the strongest candidate.
No, I don't think that either. And I think Biden probably still would have lost, but
he won,
still.
but he didn't. But like he may have lost the second time for sure, but he didn't.
But this is still Trump's record that he lost both times. So I mean that he won both times over a woman for sure.
So I know we could talk about this ad nauseum for hours. I'm not going to get us derailed. I'll just say I have my concerns already. A lot of the things that it's been 3 days, and already a lot of the things that they're talking about putting into play around immigration. They're talking about changing and taking away a lot of people's denaturalization status. Today, the mayor of New York said that he was going to take away the voucher program for a lot of migrants in New York City, and that he was going to be working with the Trump administration. Also, I'm going to put a pin in that, but follow that because I think he's going to
listen, man. Pisces brains unite right here. He already been laying the groundwork for a Trump pardon down the line. That's all that is right there.
And so along those same lines, Adams is caught up in some of that Diddy stuff.
Exactly.
I'm looking at a bunch of pictures of Diddy and Trump, and they've been friends for a long time.
Diddy, wow, that guy. He's a good guy.
So remember, you heard it here first. If Diddy gets pardoned, because didn't Trump pardon Lil Wayne?
He did. He pardoned Lil Wayne.
He pardoned Kodak Black.
Kodak Black. Yep. Listen, during the I don't want to spend too much time on this either, but during the campaign season when Trump did that event here in the Bronx, I don't know if y'all remember. Y'all probably don't really even know these rappers like that, but at one point he had Chef G and Sleepy Hollow come up on the stage during that Bronx event, and
those are not rappers.
And listen, again, all of that shit, all of that posturing and trying to get black people on his side, that's for them. When I say for them, I mean Chef G and Sleepy Hollow. They were posturing for a pardon as well down the line, I'm sure, because they're both facing some pretty serious charges here in New York City. But yeah, same sentiments. I'm not happy with it, but I've actually been feeling pretty good about it. I'm I said this on Instagram, we about to get the leader that America deserves, so it's all good.
They'll get their just desserts.
And the last thing I'll say on it is I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I went to Howard, and seeing Kamala use it as her campaign headquarters at the end for the results to come in, and I didn't watch her concession speech live, but I watched it after, and I was good through the whole speech. It was very poignant. She was very diplomatic. I really respected what she said about she had already called Trump and there was going to be a peaceful transfer of power. But then she said the Howard University slogan of truth and service, and then followed it up with Howard HU, and then we all shouted at the TV, I got choked up, man, because it showed what could have been versus what we already know is to come.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I gave up about, I don't know, maybe 1:15, 1:30 in the morning. Me and Ash was here watching, and at some point we both were just like, this shit is over. And I was like, all right, I'm turning off the TV. I don't know, my body really relaxed, and I actually had a decent night's sleep even on that first night. And I was just like, you know what, it is what it is. But I wanted to get into this briefly just to touch on Trump's proposed tariffs and how that actually might affect collecting and the cost of figures, and just kind of pose that question to you gentlemen as well, just to kind of tie it all in, and we're not just having a complete political discussion here. But it's my understanding that this guy has no understanding of how tariffs work. And I do think that we will, if he decides to implement these tariffs, which he has done before.
That's what
And we ended up having to bail out all of the farmers and what have you based on the tariffs before, and it was a mess before. But if he's really considering doing this again, and especially at the level and percentage that he's been proposing, I think we in for a fucking rude awakening, and that it's going to directly affect collecting. Obviously, because a lot of the stuff that we collect, they have their foothold and their origin in China. So,
China.
what you guys?
China. But you did see that China already, China, the whole country, issued a statement. They were happy with the results, and they were supportive of President Trump. Again, man, nobody's keeping anything a secret anymore. The days of like stealth and espionage and doing things behind closed doors, like I will say, Trump definitely changed that because everybody's playing their hand cards face up right now.
Yeah, but I don't. They are, but I do think that in the end, I don't trust it to. I don't know. They pulling a fast one on Trump, I think, at the end of the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a gullible moron. So, like, I do think that Putin and Xi have something worked out and that they are just pretending to kind of like, act like it's all good and they're good with Trump and whatever. There's a means to an end there. But yeah, bringing it back to the tariffs.
Yeah, I mean,
How
again,
do you
you hit
guys
the nail on the head. This happened before in his previous presidency, where we saw an increase on tariffs. We saw an increase on the shipping of goods. I do believe it was during Trump's first tenure as president. Isn't that when we saw the second price increase on Marvel Legends as well?
Definitely. Yep.
Like,
we
again,
saw two in a short amount of time. Right. Exactly. It bumped up twice in a short amount of time.
And so I think, again, we should know what to expect because we've been here before. And so I do think that we will see an in price on goods again. I know a lot of people were very upset about the inflation, even though inflation is the lowest it's been in 4 years right now. I think that we will not see a decrease across the board on goods. I think we'll see an increase. I think that we will end up in some type of war in the next couple of years, which will make the price of goods go up even more. And so I do think that a smart bet would be for people to start saving a little bit of money, setting aside some dough in your accounts, probably not even in your accounts, in your house. Again, I'm no economist, but I do think that we will continue to see an increase on the price of goods across the board in our hobby.
Agreed. Rick, what you think?
Man, I'm ready for the shit to go to Ross. Yeah. Yeah, I think costs are going to go up. I mean, it's nice that I buy a lot from Japan, so I think in that side I'll be okay. But I think the American side, I think a lot of things are going to go up. And I don't even think it's just these tariffs. I think there's just so much greed in corporations and whatnot, and I don't think that they have their ears to the streets or their hands on the pulse in any way, shape, or form. And I think these poor guys, the big three, just don't. They have to do what they're going to be told to do. Hopefully we're wrong though. Hopefully we're out here fucking tripping and it's not going to happen. But I'm sure if it was up to them, there wouldn't be an increase in any of it. But they can only recommend and say so much to these people in a suit. And I don't know. We'll see. I am really happy more than ever that I collect so much from Japan right now, and I don't do much in the store except for later tonight's guest. That's like the biggest thing that I do right now is JADA Toys.
Yeah, you are loyal to the brand.
Oh man, I'm loyal. I almost bought a figure I didn't even want from JADA yesterday just because he was going to be on here tonight. I almost bought on my Ross. They got the Bela Lugosi Dracula.
I saw it That's still around. I saw it last holiday season.
Yeah, I never seen it before. I seen all the regular monsters. I never seen the Bela Lugosi one, but I almost bought it just because of that. But I got DJ already. He's fantastic. It's amazing.
I've been
And
looking, trying to find him on in store. But yeah, good segue. If you've been under a rock, we're gonna have Juhn of JADA Toys on the show this evening.
JADA Juhn.
But yeah, what else did you get from Jay?
Just that. All I got was that. I was
Cammy yet? You still haven't found Cammy?
No, she's gonna start hitting. I'm pretty sure he's gonna come on here and say the same thing, but she'll show up at a store any day now at this point. There is one really big issue we need to address while David Walton is here on the show.
All right.
And it's the constant pattern of disrespect that David Walton shows to this beloved company and this incredible figure, David. I'm gonna say this right now. Okay, everybody's watching at home.
Yeah.
I think that this is the best 1/12 scale Marvel action figure I've ever had in my fucking hands. And
really?
I would beg anybody. I'd beg anybody to show me another one that isn't probably.
I haven't watched any reviews or anything like that. Everything that I've seen with this figure has just been in A.C.B.A. and toy photography and what have you. Is this a different buck in some type of way from what they've been putting out? Is this a totally new body for Daredevil?
Yeah, this is a totally new body.
Totally new body.
Yeah, totally new body. I was blown away. I wish my partner was here. She's at work right now, but last night my Ami box came in and I was opening and I was just like, fuck, this thing is incredible. If this isn't the best 1/12 scale Marvel action figure, it's because it's Captain America and I don't have him yet. This is crazy. I can't believe it. This thing is insane, incredible, just fantastic. The only gripe I have is that it doesn't have the glasses mask off head, but I'm going to steal that from a Cyclops either way, baby. This is amazing.
So peep game. It's actually kind of serendipitous that we're all back here talking about this again, because I think the last time I may have been on, I was either in the chat or I had hopped on real quick, and we were talking about it in photos when it was released. And was saying it was too skinny. I also thought it was too skinny at the time. We thought it was going to be on the Nightwing mold. I have watched a bunch of reviews on this, and I will be the first to say I did miss out because it looks
crazy.
And I haven't even opened my 3-pack Daredevil yet, but from all the photos I've seen in A.C.B.A. and the reviews I've seen, it's going to be up there for figure of the year. The only thing I think I don't like about it is I feel like those wrist pegs, those ball joint pegs are very visible, but that's a minor gripe because everything else about it does look fantastic. I'm definitely having like FOMO and
I'm telling you.
What is the opposite of buyer's remorse if you don't buy something and you wish you bought it?
I mean, is it actually sold out everywhere right now?
Everywhere that I've seen.
I'm unaware, but it probably is. I mean, I could just say this. It's like I said, if this isn't
good for re-releasing shit though.
They are. Well, you know what? The good thing about Mafex is that like when you're really close to when it released, like they'll pivot really quick and ramp up production. It's like I said, if this isn't the best 1/12 scale Marvel action figure, it's because it's the Captain America and I don't have him yet. I made a huge mistake. I thought that I ordered it. I thought I ordered that thing, and I don't.
Let me get a distinction here. You saying the best 1/12 figure Marvel period, or you just saying from
my man? I'm saying period. I don't think that there's a legend that's better than this. I don't think there's a Mafex that's better than this. It blew me away. I couldn't believe it.
Gambit is pretty fire, bro.
I'm saying, man.
And there's more with that figure. You have more playability and like
with posable wire, Billy Club shit.
I mean,
it's
two
different lengths.
It's fire.
Come on.
But let's talk about Captain America for a second. I was digging it, and you and I talked about this. To me, I feel like the stripe pattern on the like abdomen section is the best looking representation of what that looks like. Because I saw it compared to a bunch of other figures. The only thing that dashed all of my excitement for the Captain America, he's too little. Like he's too small. I feel like He's about the same size, if not smaller than Daredevil. I believe when I saw them in a side.
I mean, listen, the Thor was small too, and the way the head sat on the shoulders, he's not like an Asgardian. Like Asgardian's supposed to be like naturally just like larger than humans. Period.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'll say that Thor I think is too small. I don't know about. I just don't have Captain America yet to make that call really, but I know that Thor is way too small. I know that for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, just knowing their situation, I wouldn't doubt that they saw like one piece of artwork and just based it on that and didn't bother to like, hey man, this guy's not fucking big enough because I just don't understand why he'd be so small. I mean, it
So
is strange. It is
I
strange.
mean, traditionally they have been undersizing a lot of these characters anyway, so it is what it is.
Just
and
incredible.
Rick tried to explain it to me why the characters from the Japanese companies are smaller. We talked about it once.
Yeah.
You had what I in my mind was a valid explanation. But before we get into the thick of things, while we're still talking about Mafex, can we just pivot just for a second? So I know this is going to be blasphemy to you, so save your judgment.
Oh
yes.
No.
I have the Mafex brown suit Wolverine.
Yeah.
Have not opened it. Still sealed in box. I have been contemplating getting this new CT Toys brown suit Wolverine and then just selling my original Mafex. Now, what are the thoughts here? Because a lot of people
that's not blasphemous to me. That just makes sense. I don't know.
Makes sense, right?
I mean, don't get me wrong. When I've seen CT Toys Wolverine, the unmasked head sculpt isn't as sharp as like the real one, but like I don't think it's enough for me to be like, I need to pay $150 for this brown one. I don't think it's that. I would just get the CT Toys. I don't have the brown. I'm gonna buy the CT Toys. Like, if it's not available to buy at retail price, then get that CT Toys, baby.
But,
I don't have the
thinking I may run into the problem of people being like hesitant to buy my Mafex now CT Toys is out, and it'll
that could be tough
because people are like, how do I know this isn't a knockoff?
That might be tough. That might I don't know if that'll affect the price or anything like that. It could. I could easily see it doing it. But I'm with you there. If it's not available, or if you got one that's the original, you could sell for good money. You haven't opened, and you could just buy the cheap one. That's exactly the same thing. Just buy the cheap one. I don't think that's blasphemous at all. So you got to do what you got to do, baby. In this economy,
with these tariffs,
David. Come on, we got to do what we got to do, baby. I'm buying all that CT stuff too. I'm gonna buy that Revoltech anti-venom, the anti-venom that they're gonna do, the venom that they're. I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna buy that all. I like you know what? I really love the Scarlet Spider. It's one of my favorite Mafex. It's incredible. Man, CT Toys is giving you 2 fucking hoodies. They're giving you 2 hoodies, one with the really big spider and then one that like mimics the original Mafex one. That's money to me. That's fucking spider. That's sick.
I have it and I never opened it.
That's fantastic. Like I'm gonna buy that too. I'm not gonna sell my original Scarlet Spider just because I love that figure so much. But I'm buying that CT Toys and I'm putting that alternate one that they gave him. Like that's good shit to me, man. One thing I'll tell you is that don't buy no fake Mafex Jordan because those things are hideous.
Fake Mafex what?
Ooh, the Jordan, nasty.
The cloth goods uniform. That's all.
I was just talking to GB today. He said he got the knockoff Wolverine.
Yeah.
And that is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't. The CT Toys isn't responsible for the Jordan, so the people that have the Jordan, it looks like a melted Tootsie Roll in the face. It is not good. Highly do not recommend you buy that. They're making a new one anyways.
What do the sneakers look like though?
I think the sneakers are solid. I think the sneakers are solid on the fake one, but the face sculpts, ooh, mama, the nasty looking head sculpts, man. I would not rock with a fake Jordan if it wasn't to steal the shoes. Because that head sculpt is yuck. I don't like it.
But at the price point of $20 for these, bruh,
it's great. Yeah, it's like
how much they going for?
Yeah,
like who else has a problem with that? Is
right now for $20, the CT Toys, Revoltech, Agent Venom, and Anti-Venom are going to be $20. The black suit symbiote Spider-Man,
they're responsible for the SHF 2099, too, I believe. So. And that's like a drastic price drop because that SHF was expensive. And then I was about to say is who else has another big problem is fucking Storm Collectibles. These guys, it's not CT Toys, but they're faking those Storm Collectibles Baki the Grappler figures, and they're just as good. And they're $20, and Storm Collectibles are like $120 something retail. It's pretty crazy. I think they're even more than that, but
interesting.
it's crazy. It's crazy. They're doing it. I don't hate on anybody getting these third party knockoff versions of these figures, especially when the originals are either reselling for a lot or their retail is so high. Like I ain't one to judge. I'm gonna buy that shit too anyway. So
All right. Well,
and the original. I'm buy both.
I'm not even sure what the schedule is here. How much time do we have to shoot the shit about other shit?
I think not to spoil for the fans here that are eagerly awaiting, or maybe I should. I think when we talked to Juhn, he said he'd be here between what would be 9:15 and 9:30 for you guys.
Okay. All right,
so
cool.
I think that's when he said he'd be here, because I think he gets off at 6 and then he has to drive home, and then and whatnot. And so hopefully we'll have Juhn here around that time, and Poncho around that time. Poncho's on his. He'll be here as well. This isn't a 3-man tonight. He's just he's at work too. He's just like Juhn, working fellows.
Working hard. All right, and let's touch on a few current offerings and releases. David, you did get a Giant Man, right?
I did.
But you didn't open it? No, you did. I saw your picture. What am I saying?
Yeah, I got 2. I opened one. I'm gonna try to flip the other one. I actually just put up a post today. I'm trying to do the impossible and trade my Giant Man for a Dragonfly. Pray for your boy. Pray for your boy.
I hope you could do it.
See it happening.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I'm being sensible. I'm telling people I'll do a Giant Man and cash toward the Dragonfly.
That's good. That's good to me.
I'm a man of the people.
I opened Giant Man out of the 2 initial boxes, shipper box and the other box or whatever, but I haven't actually taken it out of the package yet. I did get 2 as well to flip one, but yeah, I have the Dragonfly on the way.
Yeah,
it might arrive tomorrow. Okay. I see there's some reviews out of the Dragonfly though. Did y'all watch any of them yet?
I have not.
No. I don't Joe that hard. That's all too much for me. Like vehicles for Joes, I can't do that. I'm a child of the 90s. So whatever I got from Joe's was reruns on TBS in the mornings on the weekends.
G.I. Joe Extreme was your
yeah. I was propagandized, like I've said many times.
I was not a G.I. Joe kid. Transformers really more so for Hasbro really had more of a reach with kids, and every single generation there's always been Transformers, and it's always been popular because it's a fucking 2 toys in one.
Yeah, that's true. G.I. Joe didn't really hit every generation as hard as some other things that Hasbro has.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's fucking military propaganda. It's like if you don't fucking if you don't like military, you're not gonna like G.I. Joe.
And they made the military cool because you don't even got to wear a uniform. You can wear a jersey.
You can wear
a guy wearing a basketball jersey. That's what I'm asking.
Where's
Big Lob? Every time where's Big Lob at?
Laser beam fight with slippers on and shit. Yeah, all right, fuck it.
Got a dude named Barbecue. It's insane. Oh shit, 796 is saying he has Wolverine from CT Toys and it's very impressive and the QC is really good. Brian is saying CT's shorter, so if you wanted a shorter Wolverine,
GB did tell me that too. He did say that it was actually short, and
that's not even a bad thing though.
That's a good thing.
That's fantastic. Yeah, they're righting the wrongs. I'm with it. I like it. It's
shit, righting the wrongs. The CT Toys Wolverine has a boot swivel. And the Mayfex Wolverine.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Mario, can you confirm? Mario, where are you, Mario?
They added a boot swivel, and the Mayfex did not have one, so he has more articulation as well.
Wow!
See, that stuff is great. Like with that Scarlet Spider-Man, the fact that everybody was upset that they wanted the one with the big ass fucking spider on it, and they're doing it. That's dope to me. That's what they should be doing. Really enticing you with switching it up, fixing the things that people are annoyed with. That's dope. You could tell that whoever's doing CT Toys, they got their fucking hands on the pulse.
They're out of China though, right? Obviously.
Yeah, they're out of China, but they know something. They're in these groups or something, because for them to know all these things, or they're just collectors themselves, whatever it may be. But to have all these things that they're fixing along the way, they got to have their ears to the streets.
Let's jump back a second though. I want to go back to Giant Man and just give you the heads up. I got my Giant Man a little earlier. Like when people started saying that they were getting theirs like early on. I think I got mine 2 days later. And I was really excited to open him, and I was trying to pose him up. And this is before people started saying that you needed to heat the hands up.
Yeah,
Oh, you
them
broke the
fingers, man.
I didn't break it, but I definitely stressed, I think, the middle finger on the left hand, because if they are super tight, like it's one of the things that we've talked about before, like the old days of the Toy Biz articulated fingers, like cool in theory, but execution wasn't always that great. And I think it's kind of the same thing here with Giant Man. Those segmented fingers still look weird. Like they work for Galactus and they work for Sentinel because they're robotic. So those joints can be a little bit bigger and bulkier and look robotic, and it doesn't break up the sculpt and it doesn't look bad on the figure. But on these human hands, they still haven't perfected that yet.
Yeah, you know,
even though it's human gloved hands, it still looks weird, huh?
yeah,
Still,
and you know, I wonder why they didn't just go with interchangeable hands for it. It's cheaper. I don't know.
It makes the most sense to me to do an interchangeable hand on a figure that big. And
I mean, that's more, that would bring up the cost though, right? Instead of having more
fingers.
Yeah, because the you know, the joints and, you know, having to engineer it and the time that it's going to
Yeah, I
take
guess you're right.
and the
Okay.
QC issues, you know, like
QC.
maybe it would have been even, let's say, but like, you know, with one, you don't have these people like stressing out, because I've seen a lot
Honestly,
of pictures of stressed out fingers
the like
on the
kind of
Giant Man.
pre-posed interchangeable hands at that scale though might look even worse. Honestly.
It could have. I mean, maybe the issue is like if you have like the one that holds something, you know, maybe the hole will be too big or too small for a
Right.
legend. Or,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I understand. I understand. They wanted this to be. It's a premium offering for them, so they wanted it to. You know, what's more premium than individual fingers. You know, but maybe hindsight, interchangeable hands would have been better, just with this issue of the stressing and whatnot. And it's not an issue where people have said that they don't have it. I think every single person I've spoken to has said that theirs
So,
are
Your
just like with
Mr.
the eyes,
Hands,
like with the eyes
Yeah,
too.
heat up the fingers. The missing eyes, like that's just a QC thing. I
Yeah,
see people are upset about it, but
you
to be
said
honest,
missing eyes. What do you mean missing eyes?
like you don't get the eyes that look straight.
yeah, they're missing.
So I think they accidentally, when they printed the eyes, they accidentally did 2 sets of eyes that look kind of off to the right a little bit.
Okay.
And people I get it, it's annoying, but the fact that they addressed it so quickly, and the fact that you can reach out to customer service and they'll send you the eyes. Like I didn't even open my second one, but I told them that the eyes were messed up in the packaging. Just if I do sell it to someone, I'll be able to have the second set of eyes.
Eyes. Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing actually.
You know what I'm saying? And so I get it. People want to be upset, but it's like selective outrage kind of, because as long as they're willing to handle it, I know that I didn't get new joints for my Sentinel. I didn't get new ratcheted joints for those knees. And so I respect them trying to fix the issue.
And you know,
Yeah,
it's not like it's been bad hoops either. As soon as you email them, they're like, okay, we'll send you a new set of eyes. It's been really easy.
Yeah.
It's been, you know, no issue.
So there's no possibility of like rotating eyes, moving eyes at all.
No, because you can't flip them or reorient them. They're meant to groove in a specific way. I have seen a few people though that got perfectly set eyes and that their eyes look straight, but again, a few. And some people,
I was gonna say very few people got the right set of eyes. It seemed like it was just something that they'd missed. And I'm glad that they're working on it. I would be annoyed if like Hasbro was impossible to reach, if they're being assholes about how to send it, if they're like, you know, but it seems like the process is really simple, really easy. Everybody knows the email. It's everywhere. It seems like a minor annoyance, but they're willing to fix it. I don't see the problem.
And they're not running from it because Dwight spoke to it like
exactly. Yeah, he specifically spoke on it.
He put up an interview and he kind of said the same thing. He was like, you know, we're rectifying it. He told people specifically where to go to address the issue in terms of Hasbro customer service with Pulse. So I respect it because they did not do that with the Sentinel. and the ratcheted knees and everybody's Sentinel, not everybody's, but a lot of people's Sentinel having problems with stability. It is an easier fix than sending out ratcheted knees, so I get that. But yeah, all in all, it's a good figure. I'm happy to have it. It looks very imposing in your display. I do want to see you specifically. I want to see how you make a fist with your giant man. Because anybody who's been in the game for a minute knows that that was one of the biggest pieces of feedback from the Toy Biz days, that yes, you had the articulated hands, but everybody's fists for their figures looked wonky because you couldn't pull off a perfectly closed fist. So when you open him, I want to see
one of these.
Yeah.
Oh man, that pissed me off so bad in the Toy Biz days.
Same thing with this
like
giant
this.
man.
I hate that, man. I hated that shit.
Same thing with this giant man. So I want to see how you pull that off, Boog, and after you heat him up, how well you can get that fist to close.
Can you guys see my screen?
I can see your lovely piano in the background.
Yeah, I can see your penthouse loft in the Central Park area.
Looking
shit, there we go.
Oh, gotta talk about this.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was just making sure my screen is moving, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh boy.
Okay, cool. All right. So real quick, Legion's Con is this weekend.
Yes, it is.
Starting tomorrow, but a lot of pictures and things have been coming out already. Some things that Mythic Legions have put out themselves. And some things that have been coming from the showroom floor, I guess. I don't know. And then we also have some pictures directly from Trevor from 16 Shooter. I don't know.
We got a man on the ground. We got Brad Harper. Brad Harper is there, and he sent me a picture of the dragon too. Yeah, shout out to Brad. Said if I needed any pictures to just reach out. What a guy. You believe this guy? Man at your wedding. You believe him?
Yeah.
Brad Harper.
So ask Brad, since he is on the ground, because I haven't seen it posted anywhere. Is anyone having discussions yet about the cost of this magnificent beast?
That has seemed to be one of the most frequently asked questions so far, is how much it's going to cost. People were asking what the articulation would be like, and I'm sure we will find out all of that information in the next 24 48 hours. But
yeah,
just in terms of just the look and the sheer detail on this thing, it is it's pretty amazing, man. I wonder what you gonna say.
I saw this today in one of the too many group chats that I'm in, and I literally just said out loud, I put my phone down for a second and was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Because this is shit.
Wildly impressive, man.
This is insane, bro.
Yeah, it looks very, very good. I'm wondering if it'll be some interchangeable wings for a couple different, looks. I did see something where the wings look like they were splayed out at one point. Danny had actually sent me some pictures that I had posted on my Instagram too, where I guess you could see one shot of the wings kind of out. Yeah.
I see your GIF over there, Gary. I agree. So let me just say this real quick while you pulling all this up. This release is going to be a game changer for Mythic Legions. This is going to be something that puts their company on a different level, because I do not own any Mythic Legions items. This is a must buy for me. Not sure yet if I want the green. I would love to have a black dragon, a black version of this.
I didn't even really think about that.
Yeah, but this is why this is a game changer for them. People love dragons. I think people love dragons more than dinosaurs, because it just transcends so many different genres, and it's in so many different IPs. There are going to be people that want this figure who don't even collect action figures.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a couple of people that commented that on
Yeah.
my post there actually.
Yeah. And so this is going to just put them on a whole nother level. Like I'm talking about people that play like Magic the Gathering, who just into cards.
Yeah,
People,
Dungeons and Dragons players. Yeah, that'd be
Dungeons
great.
and Dragons people. This is going to transcend. Like, again, I can't think of a dragon of this scale that's not a statue that's been made for like the masses.
Mhm.
This is going to put them on a whole nother level, bro.
Oh, we got a little bit of confirmation here. Brad is saying that people are saying 400 to 500, but this will be crowdfunded in January, and that we'll know a confirmation on the cost by the end of this year. So interesting. This, I know that this thing
That
is
was
fucking
my
humongous. I sent a picture to in our group chat of one of the mythic legions under him like this, and that thing looks really small next to this dragon. Oh shit, Henrock's there. What's up, Henrock? Henrock, I'm so sad about last week. When Poncho was pulling in people to the calls for October, he couldn't see the names being pulled, and I was like, man, we lost Henrock. Sorry, Henrock, we didn't get you on. I almost cried
yeah,
tears on
I might be able to get out there
the Legion's gone
this weekend, maybe. But
to Jersey.
I actually saw Hemrock's cousin today. I was handing him off figure to get to Hemrock actually. So
Family business? That's amazing.
Yeah.
So shout out in the chat to Christopher Miller. He actually just gave me pause because as excited as I have been about this thing, he worded the question perfectly and said, "What that dragon neck do though?"
Yeah. I don't see any segmentation. The picture Brad sent me, I don't see it.
And that's a valid point. I mean, not to detract from it. It is still spectacular. I know that the tail is segmented and can articulate. I think in one of the posts they said that the tail can be extended to make it even longer.
If you look right here, it looks like there might be a cut right here. There may be some interchangeable head situation. And I was thinking, initially, my first initial thought on price was 500. That was the first thing that popped into my head. I'm like,
thinking $4.99 also.
Yeah, I mean,
Brad, what's that articulation look like in person, Brad? Or Henrock, whoever, any one of you fellows.
What that neck do?
What that neck do?
Hashtag Mythic Legions. What that neck do?
Figure.
It, bro, like, and this is the thing that's crazy. And again, game changer for their company. This is their release in green at $4.99.
Right.
I can 100% see people buying this same exact release in red, in orange, in black. Don't get jazzy and then release like the ice variant in white. Like, people love fucking dragons, bro. And so this is going to,
and that's totally within what Mythic Legions has been doing this whole time. It's their MO, you know.
Oh my god!
We've had the horses in different colors. Yeah, you know, pretty much every kind of beast in different colors and styles already.
That neck looked like it do a lot, boys. Brad sent me like really up close pictures of that neck.
Oh yeah,
boy.
That neck
looks pretty articulate. It looks like it's segmented just like the tail, essentially.
Oh
I don't know why that first picture Brad sent me, like, maybe it was just the lighting, it like blended everything together into like one solid sculpt. But in these secondary pictures, man, it's segmented in a good way, I'd say. I don't know if they've sent yet. Bug.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I just don't know exactly where it will live in my collection because this is a what is it called where like this is something in your collection when people see it they're kind of like they're like taken aback and they're like it's not a centerpiece but like what is the word I'm looking for where it's like this is
it's a talking point figure for sure. It's one of those things people go, what is that guy? For sure, you know,
it's breathtaking and honestly I can't wait to see more videos of it. My god.
Can you see?
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, he's saying that from what he saw, 3 joints at the neck, base of the head, mid neck, and the base of the body. And I think I could see something at the top, like at the back of the skull too. So, you know, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks very good.
Yeah, I definitely want to get. I don't even have any Game of Thrones figures, but this definitely wants to make me go back and find a.
You never bought You never bought those original Funko ones, dude? They were being clearance out for like $3.
Nah,
I
that
I
was one.
I have so many of those. I have doubles because they were so cheap, and I still find them at the thrift here and there. That Tyrion that they had,
Is
really
that
nice.
right?
I
If you
like that
have an
Tyrion.
extra Tyrion and a Danny, holla at your boy.
I might. I'll look around.
Yeah, this is a game changer. Kudos to the Horsemen and Mythic Legions. This is breathtaking. I can't wait for them to just show more photos. I'm excited to see what the articulation is going to look like in those wings, because
Yeah.
if I don't see any joints for articulation, but I did see that photo that you were talking about, Boog, where the wings are splayed out. If these motherfuckers give us interchangeable wings that are folded, I
That's what
can't.
I was. That's what I was thinking.
I'd lose my mind if these wings were made of rubber and they had like a wired skeleton. Game over.
Man, none. Yeah,
So that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I
yeah.
got a few more photos here from Brad. I'll share them in a second. But so yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people saying that this would be their first purchase from Mythic Legions, and yeah,
Yeah.
you spot on in terms of if this does well, we'll see other colors. In fact, that might actually be part of the initial
Oh
crowdfund.
yeah, of the crowdfund. Yeah, maybe like certain number gets black dragon, certain number
Right,
gets
right.
red dragon, blue dragon.
Or you could,
Um,
you could pick.
yeah.
Mm.
That'd be even better, honestly, if you could just
Sounds
pick.
it
That'd be
sounds
great.
expensive though, but but yeah,
The
it could
sky's
happen.
the limit, man. The sky
Mhm.
truly is the limit. They could probably crowdfund this thing multiple times in the different colorways, because I think people, not army build, but this is a thing that you would want multiple dragons in your
Yeah.
display. Some
You you
people
know
would.
you know we've spent a lot of time on this podcast hyping up, or maybe not even hyping up, but just discussing people's Kickstarters in the past. And the amount of times we've seen anthropomorphized animals that are definitely copying, or not copying, but like, they're borrowing the same audience that buys Mythic Legions, like 100% of the time, pretty much. And
Mhm.
I always think like, do people want this? I think I've said it here many times, like another animal with a
Mhm.
body, like I don't know, do people really want this? And I'm proven wrong every time.
Yeah.
Savage Crucible, any of them, they're people fucking want this shit. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. If it was anybody but these boys, maybe I doubt it. But the Mythic collectors there, they show out. They fund these other projects, these passion projects people have, like Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, Savage Crucible, whatever it may be. They're out here and they're fucking spending money, man.
Pause.
The
Boogs.
detail on this thing alone is crazy,
I,
man. This
Yeah.
it's gonna be 500.
Rick, I'm just trying to get a look at these wings.
Mhm.
Um, I'm trying to figure it out, and I can't yet from the photos. But I that pose, that perch on that rock,
Mhm.
having this in your collection somewhere, perched like that, just looking hella imposing. The fire breath looks amazing. I'm telling you, they're gonna sell so many of these. If they make like an undead version that's
Oh,
similar to the
that'd be
dragon
so sick.
that the Ice King pulled out, bruh, this is crazy.
I just want to see if there will be that one set of completely splayed out wings for like a flight thing, or like I'm assuming that it's going to be interchangeable heads and arms, and you can get them in a flight pose, and
Yeah.
uh, there might be a stand with this. Like, yeah, this has a lot of potential, man. I mean,
As
it
I'm
already
looking
looks
at this
amazing.
is a good photo for me to be justified right here. As I'm looking at this, I'm calling it. You heard it here first, everybody. One of the stretch goals for this is going to be a saddle.
Oh yeah, no
Oh,
question.
100%. Yep.
For you to make a dragon rider, that look at that little area between the neck and the wings,
hmm
placement for a saddle to be placed on.
They've pretty much done every one of their beasts has, well, except for like the rock trolls and whatever. But yeah, they've all been uh able to be ridden basically. Even the bear that they got coming out, or whatever that thing is, the last thing that they showed.
Mm.
Um yeah, so yeah, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see this coming with some type of rider as well too. Yep.
Bruh.
And you know what? They might get funky and do some type of female rider and play into the whole Game of Thrones thing too. You know?
Yeah, I could see that being a stretch goal too. The rider
Stretch goal
itself,
character.
yeah,
Yeah.
the rider itself specifically for this dragon.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see. This thing is gonna get funded, whether it's 500, 400, 300, 600, whatever it is, it's gonna get funded. I don't even
Yeah.
have a slight doubt that this is gonna make it. Just the question of what else is gonna come with it is more what I'm wondering. You know, how many colors,
Mhm.
rider, a saddle. This is so fucking crazy. I think this thing is insane.
And if they stick
But
the
yeah,
land,
just to recap, you said January we should know all of the full details, and that's when
January is when the launch will happen, and
Mhm.
he said that by the end of this year we'll know the price at the very least, but the campaign will not run until January.
yeah, if
Yeah,
they stick
crazy.
the landing on this and there aren't any QC issues, and you know what I'm saying, and again, they aren't known for that. Already they are they are laying claim to wanting to hold the title of figure of the year for 2025 with this.
Oh yeah,
Also like independent company brand of the year as well. Like, you know what I mean? Mythic Legions is pretty much, I mean, who's really up there with Mythic Legions as an independent? Um, you know,
Yeah, nobody.
what's yeah, pretty much them, I'd say.
So what's funny, I don't have this number in front of me, but I'm thinking of, and no shade, Brian Flynn. You know I love you. We've met a couple times in the city. But their Tiamat was how much? How much is Tiamat from Super 7? Isn't it like $3.99? $2.99 from their Dungeons and Dragons dragon that they're releasing?
Oh yeah, let me see actually.
Because realistically, now that I'm thinking about it, that's the next biggest scale dragon that we have. And that also
299, 299.
299. Yeah, and that has very limited, if any, articulation. It does have the multiple heads, and it does have the nostalgia factor. I was contemplating it to go with my Hasbro Dungeons and Dragons figures, but I was like, nah, it's not worth the 300 to me. This 100% is.
yeah, 300. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 499 is what they're asking. Is it so the Tiamat was 300?
300 to
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
299.99. I see it at 300 everywhere pretty much.
I see it at 300. Yeah, on Amazon. Yeah.
So for $200 more, which again sounds crazy, we talking big boy money here. All the articulation. We don't know yet all the details, but it'll come with multiple accessories depending upon what the stretch goals are that are met. But given the way that we anticipate this is going to sell, it's safe to say that all the stretch goals will get met. I think the value is there. Just based on what we're seeing right now and those initial gut reactions to it, I think the value.
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, we got the this seems to be the next kind of price range for a lot of these big ticket items. We saw the Ghost at around 500, right?
Yeah.
What the Ghostbusters vehicle is at about 400, right? Or was it less?
Let me see. Actually, that's a good call out because I want to check and see how the crowd fund is doing because I haven't.
Brad is saying one extra set of front paws. They said they purposely didn't make saddles yet so that customizers could take a crack at it. I don't know.
Okay.
I would do it. I would do it. Yeah, I don't know that I would leave that to the customizers. I would
So,
just
I mean,
do
is
it.
that an admission that's not even in the works? Then that's not even part of the plan.
I mean, there's plenty of time to switch gears. Maybe when they're there at the con, enough people will be like a saddle that they'll be like, okay, we need to do a fucking saddle.
Not doing the saddle would be a mistake.
I think that's a mistake. That's just. I mean, you know what? David is a person that has gotten many a custom made, and not only just David, but a friend of this community and of all of us here is Dallas. James himself is like the king of customs. I don't think all of us have a lot of experience with it. I don't think that that's something that customizers would regularly want to take on. I don't think that they'd be like a saddle. Fuck yeah! Like I think that it would require a lot of work, and it's not just taking a figure.
Well, I will push back on that though, because the game has changed a little bit.
Yeah, there's 3D printing, so I guess
Yes,
I guess
3D
me thinking of it as like fabrication and like making it as nice as possible, when realistically, maximize profits, you 3D design this thing. Maybe it wouldn't be bad. Maybe it wouldn't be bad, but I still think it's a mistake. I still think that that's a mistake.
Do it.
Yeah, whether they would do it or not, I think it's a mistake.
So yeah, it looks like that the Ghostbuster car is I'm sorry, disrespect. The Ecto 1 is at $325. And then I think the deluxe is $399.
Okay.
There are 24 days left, and they are 4 backers shy of 9,000 backers. They're at 75% of their goal of 12,000.
Did they already miss the early bird?
Got some news for you there, buddy. They actually flipped that, and they are not doing the early bird. They took it away, and everybody's going to get Rick Moranis.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Marvel Legends. How y'all didn't just throw in the freaking Robbie Reyes?
Don't even bring it up. Pancho will yell at us. Don't bring it up.
Yeesh.
But yeah, so everybody's getting the I forget his name. What was Rick Moranis' name in Ghostbusters?
I do not know.
It's a funny name, like it's like Walter, like something, it's like a
I don't know.
I can't remember it.
So yeah, everybody's gonna get him now. He's included in the pack. It's crazy.
Yeah, this stuff that's been popping up on the screen is a bunch of other new releases from upcoming new releases from Mythic Legions as well that obviously Trevor got to shoot and show off.
Yeah, that gin is crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's and like the lizard chief kind of looks like Quetzalcoatl. That one's really sick too.
That shot right there.
Oh, his name is Louis Tully. Louis Tully.
Yeah, Louis Tully.
I knew there was a W in his name. I knew it.
Tully.
Yeah, that shot of the gin with the backlight and making the smoke look kind of fiery that Trevor did, that's an amazing shot.
Yeah, very good. Very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, man. It's funny because last time I came through on some Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood type shit, we talked about this, and I was asking Fabio, like, for these companies, and I use Mythic Legions as an example, that don't have that nostalgia factor, and they're not making like your Marvel characters, and they're not making like your 80s cartoon characters. They're doing a lot of original characters that are of a genre of like Vikings and fucking knights and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what is the draw? And then Fabio really did hit the nail on the head and was like, it's cool shit. He did his Todd McFarlane improv, and he was like,
fucking cool.
And they're just well-made products. Yeah. And again, the proof is in the pudding. Like, look at this shit. Look at this a moose, bro. But that looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks amazing, dog. And so I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. So I'm not going to pull a G. I'm not going to pull a Greg and get everything and get like 3 of everything. But the dragon is copped. And I'm definitely going to cop that bear. I don't know the details of when that's coming out. But that will be in my possession as well.
Oh yeah, I need that bear. I might need 2 bears and make one green.
For Beast Boy?
For Beast Boy.
I know how that brain works, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
You know the deal.
All right. What else we got? What else was kind of recent that we may have missed? Well,
speaking of Knights of the Round Table, I mean, it has nothing to do with it, I guess. But SHF announced Hobbit and I mean Lord of the Rings stuff.
Really?
They announced it. They have silhouettes of what looks like Frodo.
Is it on the Instamachi page?
I believe so, but if not, Lago has it. Let me look right now if it's on Instamachi.
Wow, what an interesting acquisition.
I know. I wish it was Game of fucking Thrones, but you know what? I understand that Lord of the Rings is like the king of that shit.
But
so.
You know how they do with that shit.
It's on Instamachi.
Is it The Hobbit? Is it Lord of the Rings? Like, which is it? Because those
it says the Lord of the Rings. I said Hobbit in the beginning, but it's the Lord.
Yeah,
of the Rings.
It does say the Lord of the Rings.
It's Frodo and Aragorn. So
yeah, that's Aragorn.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be sick.
My.
Yeah.
that's money to be made. Because again, you are attracting a new fan base of collectors who may not even fuck with imports like that, but that line is going to be a draw for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's gonna do. I think it's gonna do well. I mean, the last people that did it was Diamond, and they're just not known for the articulation. I think their detail is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes it's really great. I think when it's not human, it's really good. But when you get to the human side, it's not the detail's not the greatest. Um, but you know what is really the greatest? A toy line by JADA Toys, Street Fighter line. You ever heard of it? I think we're about to have Juhn on, boys.
Twice.
In case you're wondering what was with that weird segue.
Once or twice. We're getting close.
Juhn, is that you?
Yo, what up?
Juhn, hello. I haven't seen you since we were at the bar and I dropped the figure on the floor of the bar.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Was it a prototype?
It was Guile.
No, it was like a early production sample.
Yeah, it was Guile. I fumbled, and I don't even drink. I wasn't even drunk or anything. I dropped it, and everybody here knows that I'm blind. And the only reason we were able to recover everything was thank God that Darius was right next to me, and he's got eyes of a hawk, I guess, because he saw it. I was like, Juhn, I don't see the chain. And Darius immediately, it's right here, and we got it right back on that Guile. But that was the worst.
He saw your luxurious hair, and he got all flustered. And
yeah,
he
was like,
he got flustered.
He was like, our height might be the same, but this guy's hair is taking me out, he thought. But he still saved me in the end, thank God. Because I promise you, I did not see that chain. I was looking around like, no, I'll find it. I'll find them. Turn on my camera light. It was awful. But I have one of those samples that Juhn let me pose around that night in hand now as a regular release. It's the DJ. I found him at my local Target. It's incredible. This is just such an amazing figure. The first man to DJ, dude, this thing's just so sick. It's even better than the sample I held all those months ago. This thing is it's amazing.
Well, let's take a couple steps back. It's good to have Juhn here. Well, now he's circling us. He's buffering, but maybe Boog, if you want to do an intro for Juhn and people know who and the myth is.
Yeah, Juhn. When you get back, I don't know if that's is that my problem?
No, we can't see him either. Juhn, can you hear us, Juhn? No, he can't.
We'll get
no, Juhn.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Yeah.
So I will say I have been looking, not every day, but I have definitely been on the hunt for that DJ. He is a must-have character for me.
Yeah.
I when they made the what was it, new challengers, new warriors for Street Fighter 2, that was kind of a big deal for me because it was just more representation of Black characters in a Capcom fighting game. And DJ was cool, man. Like, he was Jamaican. He wasn't like cooning. He wasn't on some like Mr. Popo shit. And to see him now, shots fired. To see him now in
Mr. Popo's based on a gin.
I know. But it's just really cool to see the love and attention that's been given to the figure. I love the Soto version, but to see this version, it's definitely high up on figures that I want to get to close out the year.
All right, so Juhn's back. My bad. So yeah, for those of you that don't know who Juhn is, I want to let him kind of intro himself a little bit. But obviously, we've talked about. What happened?
I think Juhn's playing the podcast in the background, maybe, or one of us is. Yeah.
All right, so Juhn's back. My bad.
Who is that?
So yeah, for those of you that don't know,
which one of us is playing the stream?
I want to let him. Don't know. Intro himself a little bit.
It's not me.
Juhn, are you by any chance playing the stream? There it goes.
Oh yeah, so it was Juhn.
But
hey, Juhn, can you hear us?
I think he's frozen now, though. It's okay. He's got this man is super busy. He's managing a multi-million-dollar company. He's giving us some of the best figures in the game right now.
The government is keeping us out, man. They heard what we said earlier in the show. You happy, Boog?
He's got people for these technical issues. Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. But with that said, definitely this line has been one of the highlights of the past couple of years. So much so that I had no intentions to start collecting that Mega Man line. Got them all. And that was not the plan. It was not the plan at all. But they're just really. Boog, are you collecting those Mega Men?
I only have Mega Man. I didn't really go deep into everything else, but I did cop a Mega Man just for the kind of like nostalgia and the possibility of like some Marvel versus Capcom shots and stuff like that. So, you know.
Yeah.
Are you starting a Marvel versus Capcom, or either of you starting a Marvel versus Capcom 2 shelf in your collections?
I don't know that I'll have a permanent display set up to that, but I don't know. Now that you mention it, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I probably will. I probably will.
There are rumors, and I don't know if you guys have talked about it or if you've seen it, but there are rumors that there is an upcoming Marvel versus Capcom 2 line under Legends.
That would be insane. I know that they did it for 3 3/4 scale for no apparent reason because that scale was dead. At that time, maybe that's the only way that they could get Capcom to come to the table. I don't think that any of us ever asked them for clarification, but it was really strange. It was an odd move. But I hope that they're good with Capcom and they could do it again. That'd be nice, because I know that it's just whenever we get Juhn back, he'll reiterate what I'm going to say. But he's said in the past that that he just can't have that license. It's just not something that's obtainable for him. That Marvel versus Capcom, that's just not something he can get. That Marvel side is not it's not easy to deal with, to get. I don't even think they want to pick up a call. I don't think, they're very.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I do have a question for Juhn around those lines.
Okay, that's good.
Also, as memory is coming back to me, the Marvel versus Capcom line that they're doing, which is interesting, they are not doing. It's a 2-pack line. Again, leaks.
Just like the 3 3/4 inch line.
Yeah, it's a 2-pack line, but they're not doing any of the Capcom characters. They're just doing 2 packs of Marvel characters from the Marvel 2 game. So like it would be like a Venom and a Cable, or it would be like a Shuma Garuth, and I forget what was the character he was paired with. It's an interesting way to do it, but I do have a question for Juhn about how it could be capitalized on with what he's doing with JADA Toys and the licenses that he has. But I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save
that makes a lot more sense. Them just being, Juhn, you're back.
Yeah, what's up? Sorry,
there he is.
I thought you got so mad about me losing that chain for Guile that you just left.
No, I thought you guys got mad because I got kicked off.
Oh my, Juhn.
So I
don't even.
All right. Hopefully we are good now, right? We good? You can hear us. We can hear you. We can see you. All right, we good. We good. So yes, Juhn, intro yourself here, brother. Tell us who you are, what you do at JADA. Give us a little background for those that may be uninitiated about JADA Toys and what you guys have going on.
Yeah, so I'm Juhn. I work at JADA Toys. I head up the figures and collectibles category at JADA. It's kind of a newer segment, especially in the action figure world. We're mostly known for our diecast and radio control cars, but we do hold all the major licenses for those car categories. So it was just a matter of time before we broke into something like action figures. It's just something that I'm really into personally, and it's something I wanted to do. So, the timing was right and we got lucky. So we broke into this category maybe like during the pandemic. So we've only been in this space for like 3 years, I think, 3 or 4 years max. And we've had a couple licenses here and there, but Street Fighter really became our breakout line. So we're about like 2 years into Street Fighter. And from the beginning, the goal was to complete the roster. So I think we're pretty close to that. And we have a lot of plans beyond that as well. So this is kind of just the beginning of our JADA Toys action figure journey, basically.
Yeah.
And when you say complete the roster, you mean the roster of what particular iteration of Street Fighter there?
Yeah, so 2 has like a lot of iterations,
Mhm.
but we went with Ultra because that one covers the most amount of characters. So it is technically like Street Fighter 2, Super Turbo, new challengers. So it's just the umbrella is 2, but we use the Ultra branding to make sure it captures every single like variation, including like Evil Ryu and Violent Ken. So yeah.
Nice.
Smart.
Mhm.
So Juhn, you go ahead, bub.
No. Go.
So Juhn, nice to meet you, man. My name is David. This is not on the podcast often, but I've been down with A.C.B.A for a minute, and I try to watch as many interviews as you do. But one thing that I would love to know is you talk about like where you guys started, where you guys are now, and where you guys plan to be in the future. Would you mind, if you can, would you mind sharing how that connection took place and how that relationship was made with Capcom? And how they were like, we would love for you guys to be the ones to, because a lot of different companies have held the license for Street Fighter figures, but I would love to hear a little bit of behind the scenes of how that came to be, and if you could share what you can share about that.
Yeah, I mean, so typically, like licensees like us, we have a certain image towards licensors. So typically, most licensors will look at a company like JADA and be like, "Oh, they're like very good at doing vehicles. Let's do vehicles with them. Grant them rights to do vehicles for any property." But those same licensors won't look at us and be like, "Oh, like let's give them rights to action figures," because we don't really have any history or credibility in that space. So the hardest part was just getting our foot in the door. Because like once that happens, especially in the past year, the floodgates have kind of opened up to we're having a lot more opportunity within action figures. So the biggest challenge was that first like step. So we got there by using Universal Monsters. That was our first line. And the only reason why we got that license to begin with was we have a really strong relationship with Universal already because we do all their Fast and Furious vehicles.
That makes sense, right?
It's one of our biggest brands. So we do a lot of business with them already. So they kind of like let us like try something that wasn't like current or like a big like a property. So we got lucky. So that was our first break. So after we did that, we had something to show for like trying to pitch to other licenses. Street Fighter was like a personal dream line for me. I mean, I grew up on Street Fighter in the 90s. Like JADA Toys, Street Fighter's line. Like I collected that in like the mid 2000s. So that was something I've always wanted to do. And it was funny because like we pitched for this like 3 years ago, and the Capcom like Street Fighter brand today versus 3 years ago was completely different. It was kind of like dormant in a way, and there wasn't a lot of like companies specifically for action figures vying for rights to do it. So we actually got in right at the right time. So when we pitched for it using our Universal Monster action figures as like a proving we can do it, they were actually very like happy about it, and very happy that a licensee would be willing to approach them to do action figures for Street Fighter. But I think that story would be completely different if it happened today. Like if we were still a no-name, like smaller company, not really known for action figures, and we approached Capcom today, they would probably be like, yeah, we already have like other like established like companies working and doing figures for us. So it was just a matter of like timing and luck, which I'm sure is the case for a lot of things in general. So it just worked out for us. It was just like we were at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and I think I heard in another interview that kind of took place during, was it either during or right before COVID time happened?
So we got the Universal license right before COVID, I think like mid 2019. So, it takes a while to produce a figure, especially when it's our first time out. So by the time those figures came out, we were already into COVID. So we actually pitched during COVID because I remember like at the time, like everyone's working from home.
Yeah.
So all the meetings and discussions are happening virtually.
Yeah.
So we got the news virtually that we got the license. So it was during that COVID time. Yeah.
Wow.
You guys do like a Zoom party turn up and celebrate like our water bottles.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really cool, brother. That's really cool.
How many approximately how many SKUs do you guys have currently, you think?
Within the figures or just everything?
Both.
For everything. So our company's pretty big in the other spaces. I mean, we have a lot of shelf space and presence at like Walmart and Target, but it's mostly in like the vehicle aisle. Like if you look next to the Hot Wheels section, there's a lot of Fast and Furious cars from us, and we also have a line called Hollywood Rides, where we have diecast vehicles based around other entertainment licenses.
Yeah,
So we started with like doing all the Batmobiles, and now we're doing everything and anything that kind of works. We also got into anime like 2 years ago. Yeah, so between everything in the vehicles alone, it's gigantic. It does eclipse what the action figure is at JADA.
Mhm.
And then for action figures, I mean, you know, we're just focusing on certain brands we're doing and maintaining those. So, I mean, obviously Street Fighter's number one. And then we have Mega Man, which is also a Capcom property. And then Food Mascots is another subline that we're also developing and invested in doing more in the future. And then, you know, we have Scooby now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then Cyberpunk. And then for next year and beyond, we'll slowly introduce new licenses that we have already been working on it for the past year or so. So yeah.
With the cereal mascots, are like your higher ups at JADA, are they just like completely shocked that this line is such a fucking hit with people? Because it's just like nothing that's ever been available before. Are they like really shocked by that? I mean, I'm sure that they didn't expect for this toy line to be as big as it is.
Yeah, for sure.
But did the cereal mascots particularly like, what the fuck? Why are people so obsessed with our Chester? Like,
yeah, so honestly, for the cereal mascots, we launched with the monster cereals.
yeah.
And they were okay. They weren't like our top performing item. So the initial reaction was just like, and it was our first like attempt at getting into the space. So the company just viewed it as, oh yeah, this is like tuition we're paying for the next one. But kind of like that. So it wasn't like the success of that line wasn't as critical as it was getting our foot in the door, right? So, and then, but Chester really was the one that surprised everyone, like even myself included. Like whoever thought to do a action figure of Chester, especially in this way. You know, there's been like collectibles of it, but it's more like, you know, like casual collectors will get like a pop or a little statue or a little like figure, but not a fully like fleshed out action figure. So that kind of set the bar for that line to where I think we can experiment and maybe take more risks as far as what food licenses we go for. I feel if we just use the same approach we did with Chester, I mean, worst case scenario, we'll still do good enough to where we're not losing money, you know?
Yeah. And where you could, you know, float the next project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what were you going to say, David?
Well, I was going to ask a follow-up to that and kind of delve a little deeper into what Rick was asking. Like, how did that come to pass? And now that it's successful, are you guys like in board meetings or in meetings or creative meetings, and you're like now thinking about different brands that you want to approach that means something to you or that like resonate to your childhood? Or are these brands now reaching out to you to say, hey, we would love for you guys to do a Rice Krispies 3-pack with Snap, Crackle, and Pop? Like, what does that look like now, and how has it evolved for you guys?
It's both. Like companies do approach us, and there's like a wish list internally of like licenses we want, which we pursue. So it's actually a little bit of both. But we're at a point now to where, like in the beginning, we were just trying to get what we can get, but now we're a little bit more picky and choosier. So there has been certain licenses in the past year or so that we had to turn down.
Yeah.
Just we can't take on everything and anything, like it's just not feasible. So we're at a point where we're a little bit more picky and curated as far as what we do, because making an action figure is a really long and expensive like commitment. So if we're willing to make that commitment on something, it's got to be something substantial enough for us and make sense and realistic for us to execute, because there are certain bandwidth limitations, right?
I don't care how much money they offer you. This is some free unsolicited advice. Do not make the Aunt Jemima action figure.
Oh my God.
Don't do it.
First of all, you can't even. It's not even Aunt Jemima anymore.
Yeah, she's
it's
gone. Yeah,
like
Now it's the
Company or
Pearl
something.
Milling Company now. Yeah.
Milling. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
do it.
With speaking
Very
of Aunt
funny.
Jemima, with your Flintstones that you have for the Pebbles and whatnot, was that a really easy partnership just because you guys have such an incredible relationship with Warner Brothers? Is that like, was that just like really natural, or how did that work out?
Yeah, so like that type of license is very complicated because it's a dual license.
Yeah, it's
It's
post
Warner
or it's
Brothers
post,
and
right?
Post. Yeah.
Yeah, it's post. Yeah.
So both parties have to agree to it to even make it
Wow.
happen in the first place. So
Yeah.
like if you think about that license, it's actually kind of hard to acquire. But Warner Brothers was the one that was more excited about the concept than even us. So they went out to post to get the deal done.
Wow.
So,
That
yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, I think I remember last time we had you on, you told us that when you pitched Chester that they really liked the idea for Chester as an action figure. Am I remembering that wrong?
They did, but the final product was what made them like way like over the top excited.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like, "Whoa, this is like not even this is beyond what we even thought."
Yeah, I'm sure in their minds they think of 5-point toys, and they saw this thing and they're like, "Oh shit, this fucking Chester can do 1,000,001 things." That's amazing. And I don't think you said it here, obviously, because it had been a while since we had you on, but am I correct in saying that starting now, the cereal mascots and other food product, there's going to start being in Target? Is that a thing?
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
last time we had you on, you'd emphasize that Target did not want to have many SKUs, and that's changed now.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're taking everything, but it's just baby steps. Like,
Okay.
like Street Fighter's like kind of established there now too. So within Street Fighter, the larger scale figures is a separate SKU. It's a higher price point. So in order to have those newer, larger figures on shelf at Target, they need to grant us a new facing, which they did. So now, like starting next year, we're gonna have two facings at Target. We're gonna have the standard $25 and then the deluxe $30. So we already doubled our like presence of Street Fighter at Target.
Wow.
And then they're also supporting the food mascots. So what's cool about that is because we have that, now our development for food mascots, it's kind of more like a priority as far as keeping that assortment fresh at Target. So, like before it was kind of like, yeah, let's just try one thing. If it works, cool. A couple years later, do another. But now that we have a home for it, if we could pump out like 2 or so a year and just keep feeding the Target shelf, that itself becomes its own like healthy like line for us.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, I heard David kind of joke about Snap, Crackle, and Pop. I was looking at your face to see if you're if you
playing poker
cool
with
as
Juhn, huh?
cucumber over there. So is that something maybe in the
Well,
works? I mean, do you guys have the next sort of 2 or 3 food mascots already planned out, and like how does that work with the different brandings? Because I'm pretty sure Rice Krispies is like Kellogg's or something, right?
It might be one we already hold the license for. I'm not 100% sure, but I will say this as far as like what the future holds for the food mascots.
Mhm.
I think beyond the Pebbles cereal, you're gonna start seeing food mascots that's not necessarily a cereal.
Cereal.
Nice.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
It's gonna expand beyond what it was and
Mhm.
cover more food mascots from different genres of food, I guess you could say.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
Pillsbury
June,
Doughboy. Okay.
June, I want you to look straight into the camera. Don't smile, and just let me say some things. And I just want you to look dead into the camera. Watch this. Jack in the Box.
Oh man.
Look, creepy Burger King.
That's very. That's
Creepy
very.
Burger King.
Grimace.
I thought McDonald's for sure. That
Yeah,
would be
bro.
huge. That would be huge.
I think that's huge for you guys. I think honestly, with this food line, it is something that was totally out of left field, but it hits the nerve of like childhood fond memories and nostalgia.
You know what it is
That's
too
that nostalgia,
about
man.
the food mascots in particular is that it's very American. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the shit
It's
that's really gonna
nostalgic.
hit.
It's American, and nobody does it. Nobody's ever done it. You know, the most that you'd get is like Bendham's kind of deal, I think, or like maybe back in the day they'd have like a little like unposable figure in the package, but like it's just nobody's doing it. It's nostalgic. It's American as hell, and it brings you back anytime you think of a mascot. For food related things, it always brings you back. Another thing I wanted to touch on, obviously you go on the Toy Migos all the time. Shout out to the Toy Migos. Shout out Josh Chaney, one of the most incredible, kind, like warm and truly loving people in this community. Like I cannot say enough good things about Josh Chaney and what an amazing individual Josh is.
That's sweet.
And I think you said it on their show, but did you finally make your way into Walmart stores too with your action figures? Because I don't want to disparage any other company because that's just not a nice thing to do when this show isn't about them. But when I see some of these independent or smaller toy companies coming into Walmart and I don't see JADA Toys, it genuinely makes me upset. Like I see these really expensive premium toys in like the NECA section that isn't NECA, and I'm like, why is this here? And why isn't Street Fighter there? What the hell is going on? Did you make any headway in that at all?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna be in there starting next spring.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Put some respect on their name,
because that Walmart money, baby.
I have just like anybody else in this toy community. I have a group chat with friends, and the amount of times I've gone into Walmart and I've taken a picture of toys that are in the NECA aisle that aren't NECA toys, that are just an independent company or something else, and I say, "Why is this here? Why isn't JADA here? What's going on? Who did Juhn
you're
make
gonna
upset?"
get a lot of kind of impulse purchases from kids out with mom, with family, and Walmart more so than Target. I feel like because there's like more Walmarts in the like Midwest and like in those areas where Walmart is like a big deal. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's a very good look for you guys.
I'm really happy that you guys are there.
And that's saying a lot because we are living in an age and in a society where kids aren't really buying toys like that anymore.
100%.
But a kid 100% will buy a toy associated with something that is still relevant to them. And that's the food that they eat and the food that they enjoy that brings them good memories and good feels, like the Cheerio Bee or like Toucan Sam, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like those things will still resonate with kids. And it would be really cool as hell to me to see a kid walking down the street with a Tony the Tiger toy in his pocket sticking out. And that has to make you guys feel good too. Yeah, very smart. Very happy for you guys. That Walmart thing is a big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal. Yep.
Can I follow up with one more question that's been burning in my soul since you guys started doing your thing with the Street Fighter line? And I smiled a second ago, and I just want to clear it up because I don't want anybody to be like, why was David laughing at Juhn? But when you were talking about your price points, and something that made me smile was when you said you guys have now gotten a new section or a new SKU in Target where you have your regular figures that are like the $19, $24 range. And now you'll have your deluxe figures that are going to be $30.
Yeah.
Bruh. And the reason I'm saying it is because as other companies are, and we talked about this at the top of the show, as other companies are steadily increasing their prices and are inching toward like that $35, $40 price point line, how did pricing come into play with when you guys were rolling these lines out? Because when I saw that Street Fighter figures were only going to be $19.99, I thought that it was going to be, no disrespect, but I was not expecting quality. I was not expecting all the accessories. I was not expecting the high level of articulation. I was not expecting multiple head sculpts and like the sculpts to look as good as they do. So how did you guys come up with that price point, and how are you guys going to be able to keep that up?
So, so we started the Universal Monsters pre-COVID, and like like Marvel Legends were $20, but that was like the standard domestic price of a figure. So for us, especially coming out the gate, we don't want to come out with a $60 figure with no credibility behind it, because that's a tough sell. So if we're going to come out as a newcomer, let's come out at the industry standard within this market and see how we can stack up against the other $20 figures. But what ended up happening during COVID is the standard changed from 20 to $25. So there was some panic on our side, like, like if we raise our cost, because like people weren't used, like now 25 is the norm, but 3 years ago it wasn't. People weren't used to that price for a Marvel Legends, for example. So we also had to come up to that price point because prices were going up. So we were actually really nervous. So I know the general like reaction from the fans are the price value is amazing. But before we went out to market, my concern was the opposite. Like, is this too much for what we're doing? Like, are people going to accept $25 for this? So it kind of worked out better than we expected. So we've been able to maintain like an industry standard price, but offer more. But that's all, there's a bunch of factors. I don't know how other companies work, but obviously a bigger company has much stricter margin requirements, whereas a company like us might have more flexibility as far as, like if we can add a little bit more, it might be less profit here, but we can make it up on another figure and find that balance. So, and like our company DNA has been like that even from the beginning, like even in the vehicle world, like the price value of our vehicles compared to other companies was always better. And I've been at the company for a long time, so I kind of grew up with that mindset when producing figures, right? So we just applied that to this, and we discovered once we got into the action figure game that we do have some room within the price to, like add something extra, right? So that is kind of what happened, and we've been pretty like steady with that formula now. But eventually at some point prices might go up again in the future. I mean, it's inevitable. But when that time does come, we're going to take the same mindset. Hey, like if we have to jump up to a $30 price point and that becomes the new standard, is there room in that price jump where we can incorporate more to make that price value still better than other companies?
Yeah,
right?
that's an awesome thing to hear, because it's like you said, it at this point, especially with how things are going right now financially, like I think it's hard for any company not to bump up even a little bit, even if it's just $2 or anything like that. I think it's really hard and almost impossible, I think, going forward for these companies not to raise price. But it's nice to hear that just because the price is going up doesn't mean that you want it to stay the same, that you might make that bang for your buck still stay with whatever the price goes up. That's great to hear, at least. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it sounds like it was driven by just really caring about the fan base. And it's like something that you just said that really resonated with me is, if the price point has to be more, let's make sure that we're also delivering more to go along. And a lot of companies don't have that mindset.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a unique position. We have more flexibility in what we can do compared to maybe a much larger company where there's a lot more stakeholders at the
Yeah.
top that have to be firm on certain things.
Mm.
So I think for me personally, I was put in kind of like a lucky dream scenario position to where like it'd be foolish of me not to capitalize on that and try to maximize like whatever like flexibility we have.
Good shit, man. Very
Got
good.
that.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit when I saw you at New York Comic Con, and I got the opportunity to interview you there. But we talked about competition and how Storm was kind of going down in scale and directly competing with you guys.
Mhm.
I just wanted you to give the viewers that may not have seen that a little more insight into that and what's going on there. I mean, you told me during that time that you guys weren't gonna like directly react to that, but that it was definitely on your radar. But anything
Yeah.
changed in the past month or so?
Not really. So, we're still in good standing with Capcom. You know,
Mhm.
it's not like it's gonna affect us. Like if we want to continue in a certain way, uh, we still have that open runway available to us. So it's not like Storm coming down to this scale and price point. It's not going to close the door for us for anything in the future.
Mhm.
So from that aspect, it's really important because like at the end of the day, the licensor has to greenlight whatever we do
Mhm.
as when it comes to like Street Fighter. So yeah, like this is the same for every toy company. Like they're already working in the future. Like we already have and started working on figures that are going to come out a year and a half from now. So
Mhm.
those plans haven't changed. We're we're not going to let what other companies do affect us because there's always going to be competition out there no matter what. So if you kind of worry about that, then you can't really like do anything, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it'd be kind of foolish of me to like be here and like make bold statements and like make these big promises because if we fail to deliver on it, it's going to make us look foolish. So for us, it's just like, we're continuing to work behind the scenes. And once we're ready to show the public what comes beyond Street Fighter 2, then yeah, we'll be ready to show it off.
Does obviously, now we know because you talked about it a little bit with Boog in your video, um, in the interview you guys did for New York Comic Con, but like obviously Storm Collectible caught you by surprise. I think it caught everybody by surprise.
Yeah.
To just I think all of us thought they lost that license. I don't think any of us even thought they still had it.
Mhm.
But does it, like, obviously it caught you by surprise, but does it also like when SHF did it and then
Mhm.
they do it, does it make you go like, man, we're putting these guys on their damn toes. Like they want to do what we're doing now that we made it something popular. Because like you said, when you started this line, I wouldn't call it dead, but people weren't knocking on Capcom's door
Yeah,
for this
yeah.
stuff.
Not at
Does
all.
does that fill you and your team like with pride? Like shit, like us starting this toy line 4 years ago is making everybody like, no, we need to
Yeah,
do
they
Street
they
Fighter.
trying they trying to ride the wave,
Yeah,
100%.
is
Yeah.
is is that like also a really like is that a feeling that you and everybody in your office or in your team has that like, wow, like we started a new movement. This line, this license was almost dead, really, with that company. They weren't really licensing it out. Nobody was really asking for it. It does that is that something that happened at the office at all?
Um, no, I don't know, because like honestly, it's hard to take credit for something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
It might be coincidence, or it might be, like we can't sit here and be like, yeah, they did that because of us.
but I mean
So
they did. But yes, I know what you're saying.
like a new Street Fighter game came out too, like
Yeah,
so, and they announced a new live action movie for like 2026. So Street Fighter is back on the uptrend recently. So they might have capitalized on that. So whether it's a coincidence or not, it's hard to say. I'm not going to take credit for that or
yeah,
that. But I mean, it's like good and bad, right? It's
yeah,
not all good. I mean, it's awesome that other companies out there are doing more Street Fighter, but bad as in like, like when you do have competition, you can't like relax anymore. Like you have to be on
Yeah.
your toes and you have to make sure that you're like ahead of the curve. So it's kind of motivating. It's cool, but yeah, it definitely motivates us to push beyond what we're doing now.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I mean, I don't I'm not here to just stroke your ego and make you feel great about what you're doing, but like if it's me, like, it's like, I mean, the SHF isn't even kind of close to like how good your product is. I don't even think it's
Whoa.
I don't even think it's a contest.
What did
They're
you
they're
just
like
say?
they're
Hold
like
on.
three
What did
they're
you just say?
they're
I've
like
known you
over
for
double the price.
years, and I've never heard you put down an
Oh
import
man,
company. What did
it's
you just say?
it's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah.
That Guile, oh
I'll
my god.
say it one more time so we can get it in
I
prosperity.
mean,
What did you just
it's
say?
like I said, man, that SHF line, it's just it's not competing with this. I mean, it's not even it's more than double the price, and it's not even kind of close to as good as the product that you guys are making.
That's
But
major
but
praise.
here's the thing, like if someone, obviously there's going to be discussion. We're always going to be compared to other companies making Street Fighter.
Mhm.
Like if someone says like they like our figures more, like it's cool. But if they say that they like other companies more, like I'm not even mad about that, because like
Yeah,
everyone has their own like opinion and own like criteria of what they want out of a figure. And like not every option is the same. It's not going to cater to the same person. So for me, it's not much of a competition. Like we're not trying to take fans of import figures away. It's just I think there is enough room for all of us to exist together.
yeah,
And
for sure,
yeah,
for
and I
sure.
think it's cool that people have different like preferences as far as what they like.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I'm teasing him, but Rick has put so many people on to import figures over the
Yeah,
year. And for him to say that Jada is producing a better quality product
yeah,
domestically than an import line, that is major praise.
It's
yeah,
a lot of progress
That's a
for
lot of praise and it says a lot
yeah.
about your company and the things
It
you guys have been able to accomplish
I
in my opinion, a very short length of time.
Yeah, because June, I know that you were at work before this, but I'd actually said the opposite before you were here about this.
hmm
I thought that this was putting, and I still think, that this is putting the American product right now to shame. But obviously, this is like 4 times the price. It better be putting it to shame. It's way
yeah,
more expensive. It has to be. But
yeah.
for me, like what makes yours so impressive is that those SHF figures are just more than double the price, and I think you deliver a better product, and I just think it's really good stuff. Um, I
I
know,
I have
I know that you guys don't actively try to take them out, or you don't look at what they're doing and think like, well, we got to do it better than this. But you're doing it without even having to try, and it's very impressive.
I mean, we definitely look at it like,
Mhm.
you know, like we try to stick to what we're doing, but no matter what, when something else comes out, you can't help but have that kind of like, like sway you one way or another and influence you to act a certain way. So there's always going to be like influence between the companies, even though that's not the main like goal, right? So
Hmm. Can
Yeah.
I hit you with a hyper combo question? A 2-for-1?
okay.
My first one, I'm sorry, I'm not as good as Fabio with the puns. Can The first question I have is any chance, and you may not be able to answer this, but any chance in the future that we could see accessory packs?
I would say that accessory packs are definitely on the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. I think that would give a lot of playability, especially in the A.C.B.A community, to see
Mhm.
different things, like different ways to incorporate into the figures, their power sets and everything. So really happy to hear that that could be on the table.
Yeah.
And another question I have, any chance we may see, because I'm thinking about longevity of the line, any chance we could see like a store exclusive or more exclusives outside of cons, like a GameStop Psycho Power Bison exclusive in the future?
So store exclusives, we usually do like a redeco. Like it's not like a unique tool just for a store.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it'd be crazy if we locked up like Chun-Li to just one store, you know. So redecos, player twos is a big aspect of Street Fighter. So we did start to do that this year. It will expand more next year. So yeah, I mean, retailers that support us and love the line and want to like commit to a certain like quantity for something special for them, we're always open to that. So yeah, there's already a couple lined up already for next year. So yeah, we're excited for those too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your schedule in 2025. Like, I mean, you know, obviously you don't have to give us the specific items that are coming out, but give us a little insight into, you know, the months that things may be dropping and some new things that we could look forward to in those months.
Yeah, so the third wave of Street Fighter figures are starting to hit now. I think all three are already out in like Asia and whatnot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So expect to get DJ, Cammy, and Guile by the end of this year.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Cyberpunk, David and Lucy, the promo shots are with the licensor now. Once they're approved, we're going to put up pre-orders, but the figures themselves are already in production and already shipping.
Okay.
So those should probably hit U.S. shores like realistically like early January.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, in April or around that time frame when Target resets their the space back there, you'll see the deluxe Street Fighters at Target around that time frame. So around like springtime, expect to get Sagat and Blanca in hand. And then Vega should be coming shortly after that. And then when Target sets our food mascots, expect to see Tony the Tiger around that same time frame too.
Will they let you double back and put Chester there, or is that just kind of like a...
Yeah, I mean,
okay, that's good. That's good.
We
Because
probably will, just because like Chester's you know, like we want to keep a variety, and not everybody who wants Chester already has it, and there's always going to be new fans of it. So there's only people who discover it for the first time at Target.
And there is a lot of stubborn collectors. I'm sure you come across them all the time. Like I only want it if I can find it in Target. You know, that's like such a huge thing in this community. So that's good, because I think that it would do really, really well at a retail space. So that's really good to hear.
You know what would be crazy?
Is there some? Go ahead. Maybe we're about to say the same thing.
What would be crazy? No, you're not going to be on the shit that I'm on. What would be crazy is for that Target Chester the Cheetah re-release if it were Cheeto scented.
Now,
how Moss Man, look, you're not on it, but people.
I mean, I was not thinking that high, but I was thinking if there was an opportunity for some like cross promotion with some of these food mascots and like a commercial idea, like some type of 3D animated commercial with the figure and the food, and like if you guys reached out in any type of way, or if they reached out to you guys for something like that, I think that would be huge on both sides. You know,
like an NDA bug, you can't break an NDA.
I'm just saying, I think that would be
that's a good idea though.
Special.
Yeah, I mean, we have entertained that idea before. So something like that to happen, a lot of different parties need to be on the same page, which is sometimes hard to do. Like, like the food segment at Target is managed by a completely different team that we don't even know. So already, even within Target, it's separate groups that need to like align, and then we got to align with them and the licensors. So something like that, it would be cool to do, but it's pretty complicated, I'd say. Yeah.
Cross promo, it's a lot of
yeah.
I want to get this question in because I don't know how long we have you for, but I've had this one in the chamber because I've been plotting on this to ask you this, knowing that you were going to be on today. So earlier in the show, I don't know if you saw it, but we were talking about how there's a rumor that Hasbro is going to be releasing a Marvel versus Capcom like subline within Legends. And the way that they're doing it, though, is that they're releasing 2 Marvel figures together in a 2-pack that represent the Marvel characters that were in Marvel versus Capcom, Marvel versus Capcom 2. Given your relationship with Capcom, it would be dope as hell, and keeping that same spirit of like versus, if JADA could release a Marvel versus Capcom figures or 2-packs, and you guys just handle the Capcom side of it. And if Hasbro is only able to do the Marvel side, and you guys were able to do figures like Captain Commando, another Mega Man release, like some Darkstalkers in there, like a Morrigan, that would be fantastic. And I think it would be great to like have that friendly competition between the 2 of you guys. And I'm gonna turn it into a question that you may be able to answer. What does the Capcom relationship look like now for any potential things like that in the future?
So I think that crossover is already happening, like in an unofficial, unannounced way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this year we got MVC Cable, we got Sabretooth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and I do think we're going to see more unofficial Marvel versus Capcom style characters from Hasbro.
Mm-hmm.
From our side, I would also want to do it, but it would also have to be an unofficial way. Like if we do like Morrigan, let's say, I don't even think we could brand it under Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know if that brand can be licensed out because it's Marvel and Capcom, right?
Yeah,
So,
that seems
so
dicey.
we would tackle those characters, but we would brand them under their own branding.
Like some
But like collectors
type
yeah
thing.
yeah like for collectors, even like me, I buy the Hasbro figures and I put them with my Street Fighter characters. So like the fans will make it official on their own anyway, but as far as like the actual branding, it might have to avoid the Marvel versus Capcom.
You're gonna have to play a few little tricks and games to make that happen. I can see that.
Would love to see it though. It would be really cool. And for me, I think that the success that you guys have had, honestly, skies is the limit. I think that this Street Fighter line is putting you guys on in a major way, because after Street Fighter 6, there are a lot of eyes on Street Fighter now, as you spoke to with the new movie coming out and everything else. And I genuinely am just excited to see what's next for you guys. Like I was saying earlier before you hopped on, I had no intentions to collect that Mega Man line, but the figures are so damn good that I was like, and the value is there. And I was like, I'm in. I'm all in. So just keep doing what you guys are doing, man. The support is there.
Nice. Thanks.
Yeah. I did have one question that I wanted to ask is I know that now, in the beginning of these lines, we knew that you were so successful because there's a lot of passion in what you were doing with Street Fighter. And now we know that, this whole action figure line for JADA has been doing so well that you're starting to branch out into things that you don't know as well, like with Mega Man and a Scooby-Doo. Does branching out into those new lines and new licenses, does that make you want to like explore them more now that you have them? Like, man, maybe I should go play this Mega Man game and see if I want to do any of these characters from this game, or like maybe I should go back and watch that Hex Girls movie so that I can make Hex Girls for Hound. Does that as a wrestling Hound? Does any of that happen with you so far?
A little bit, but not as much as you would think. There's still certain things that I discover newly and I get really into it. And then there's other things that I'm aware of and known for a long time where I don't feel the need to do a deep dive on it in order to like feel complete about it. So I think it's a mixture, like the lines we do, but like they're always like Scooby-Doo, like everyone knows Scooby-Doo. Everyone's seen a couple episodes in their lifetime, right? Regardless of how much you understand the brand.
Yeah, you've
Like,
seen a handful at the
yeah.
very least. Yeah.
But for me, Scooby is very exciting to me because, like, you know, like the monster, like spooky, like theme is something that I enjoy. So, you know, like doing like the serial monsters is fun. Like doing like Universal Monsters was cool. Like I don't think I've ever seen any of those movies, but I'm still excited for the characters, right?
Yeah, and you have that redemption with the Mummy, right?
Yeah. So I kind of have like certain properties, like I deep dive, or I've already been deep diving for the longest time. So I already know the property really well, like Street Fighter. Other ones were Scooby. I might not know every episode, but the character designs alone is very exciting enough for me to like really dedicate a lot of like energy into it. And like, you know, like as we kind of grow, like the properties we select, you know, they're all not going to be like my personal dream line, right? Because, you know, like there's other voices within the company that might want to do certain things here and there. So there's going to be a little bit of a mix and balance, a split between like probably like 60% of the figures we do is like my personal like passion project. And then another like 20% is like properties I'm super excited to do, even though I'm not an expert in it. And then maybe there's a couple like another 20% where it might be something that I personally wouldn't have like pursued, but because there's other voices in the company that want to go a certain direction, we're doing it. So there's kind of like a mix of that. Whereas in the beginning, it was more, let's just get anything we can take anything we can get. And then
I could have.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah. I was gonna say I could imagine that the engineering portion of putting together some of these action figures is excitement in itself. You know, we talked about the Mummy that you guys have coming out for Scooby-Doo and how unique the articulation system is there. And, you know, I could imagine making toys and really trying to do something different and unique in terms of the articulation is probably pretty rewarding. I don't think you mentioned when the Scooby-Doo stuff is coming out, though, did you?
So the first wave is basically done. Like it's already approved. We're just refining. So a big part of the action figure making process for us is actually refining all the articulation. Like we probably spend a lot of time on that, like months more than like what's probably the norm.
The standard,
So even though the figure's done, like there's still like things I want to tweak on the tolerances and the ranges and the articulation. So we're like almost wrapped up with refining the actual movement of the figure. So those, I would say, pre-orders will probably go up sometime in January, and then we'll ship it after Chinese New Year. So it'll probably ship like March or April, which means it'll hit US shores like 2-3 months after that. So realistically, probably in people's hands in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm about to hit you with another barrage. I'm sorry. My brain is just going so fast right now.
Scratch and sniff Scooby-Doo. I want to smell the dog, Juhn.
More scratch and sniffs, but things that I think one is a personal for me. I think I'm one of the few people that like Scrappy-Doo. And so to ensure that Scrappy-Doo gets made and that he sells, pair him as an accessory with Velma. Just a suggestion for your boy selfishly. But the other two things are, given your history with RC cars, it's going to happen eventually. It has to. But for you guys to do a 6-inch scale mystery machine, but sets it apart from other vehicles, given you guys' history with RC, it's RC controllable, so that your 6-inch figures can do their thing and ride around in the mystery machine and you can control it, would be fire. And then the list is my last thing. I had 3 things. San Diego Comic-Con, JADA Toys exclusive, Ultra Instinct Shag.
Yeah. You know what? I knew you were going to say that.
Everybody that talks to him about Scooby Doo goes,
we had to
Ultra
represent
Instinct
the
Shaggy.
piece since he's not actually here in the flesh.
Make it happen, Juhn. I'm telling you, people will lose their damn mind.
That would be a fire Comic-Con exclusive. That really would be very fun.
Yeah, I agree with that one for sure. As far as the Mystery Machine goes, like, you know, obviously we're a vehicle company. That's where our expertise is. If the line does well, we're definitely going to go in that direction, right? But it all depends, because if the line doesn't do well, like, it makes no sense to invest, because like a vehicle that big is really expensive to tool.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Make it happen, brother. We will.
I like it.
And the price, and people will come and they'll support it, because Scooby Doo is a very popular property. It was cool to see that you guys got it. Make it, and the people will come.
Yeah, because the thing is, like I said, like, I'm not an expert in Scooby Doo, but I just have a feeling that it's gonna do better than what I expect it's gonna do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean
once the full crew starts materializing and getting rounded out, you know, I think people will really catch on. Do we have any people in the chat that wanted to ask Juhn a couple questions before we let him go?
Yeah, that's like a huge thing with whenever he's on the Toy Migos, is like, we're not gonna do it like the Migos and do like a fucking speed round and like, Juhn, are you gonna do this? Because the Toy Migos are much nicer than we are. They're
pick a couple good ones.
Yeah, bless that man. You know what? There's one that I'm gonna do because he was in all caps and he sounded desperate. I'm sure it's a no, so that's why I'm asking this one really fast. He'd asked earlier. Is Evil Ryu ever going to get reproduced again? He missed out. I don't think you're doing that.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I didn't I knew that one would be fast, but I didn't mind that one.
My secondary value increase.
Yeah, so everybody get those questions in, and yeah, we'll hit him to them. I have one more for you.
Yeah.
Before the chat gets into it. Will toe joints and like new shoulder articulation for Street Fighter be seen on other JADA lines going forward, or is that just going to be with JADA the toes and the
it depends, because like even when you look at our existing line, the articulation isn't consistent between lines. Like the articulation scheme with Street Fighter isn't the same as Chester, you know, or Mega Man. So you know, like, we're gonna put the articulation that makes sense to the property, but when at a crossroads, we'd rather do more than less. So hopefully, you know, it's not like, oh, we did toe joints on Street Fighter, but we'll never see it in another JADA line. It's not like that. So it really depends on the property and the design and what makes sense the most. But across the board, the main goal is to maximize articulation.
Yeah, I guess
take this super chat question, Rick.
Yeah, that's going to be the first one.
Yeah.
Just he super chatted in. Shout out to Don of Pops. He's here every week. Thank you so much for your generous super chat. He says, any hope for the battle damaged continuation screen faces or figures? Is that something you guys think about? Something you guys are planning? Is this too far gone? What do you think?
That's a great
question. So, like, I would say that we have, and me personally, have probably thought about anything and everything that most people have thought about too.
Yeah.
Like 10 times over. So yeah, there's a lot of you know, because like the thing about like collectors is like what one collector wants, chances are other collectors want it too. So if there's something so glaring and obvious that people want, chances are that I want it too, and I probably.
I mean, that kind of ties into David's accessory pack, and
yeah. Like if you sold a box set where it was just like all of like the line of them with like the continue faces, people would buy it. Obviously, we're not saying that's how it's going to happen.
But in accessory packs, that would be a good way to help them sell.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I'll start reading off some of these questions. One of them is saying, since you have such a good relationship with Warner Brothers, do you know about multiverses? That's like their game where like all the Warner Brothers characters fight. Would be nice to have all those characters. That's something you're aware of, something you've looked into at all?
I mean, I'm aware of the game. It's like Super Smash Brothers, but DC or Warner Brothers characters. As far as licensing, I mean, it might be a loophole. Like, obviously, we'll never get to do a Batman action figure, but can we do it if we do it through like? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We're not at a point where we've even entertained anything beyond what's on our plate with them. But hopefully, as we do more Warner Brothers properties and it does well, then it'll open up more opportunities with them in the future.
You could.
Yeah, that's great.
I know you don't know Scooby-Doo like that, but you could sneak in a Batman and Robin in the Scooby-Doo line.
Yeah. I mean,
Globetrotters.
there is one thing that if the line does well and when we finish the cast, I definitely want to explore like the guest characters in Scooby-Doo in that.
Oh man, we're talking Globetrotters, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
You know, Don Ripple.
Yeah, and you know, I have to say it just because he says it anytime he sees you, because I know Hound would ask, is man, those Hex girls, you know how popular those girls are? People like obsess over those girls. They're like the queens. They're the queens of emo.
I'm gonna have to Google the Hex girls. I don't know.
Oh man, people are obsessed with those girls. They do well if I've aside from Hound like berating you over it, like they do pretty well just because they're so popular even outside of Scooby-Doo. They're like icons for like emo girls and whatnot. They're really popular.
So I'm gonna throw this question in from the chat because it's come up literally since you've been in here by multiple people. Given the relationship with Warner Brothers, are there any chances for figures around those old properties like Thundar the Barbarian, the Herculoids, Space Ghost,
Jetsons?
Like what? And again, I know you can't probably answer this fully, but are those things that are like being talked about in the JADA Toys offices?
I mean, you know, there's a lot of discussion internally, but you know, we got to execute what's on our plate before we ask for more. We're kind of in that timing right now to where let's put the Scooby stuff out, let's get the Flintstone stuff out, and let's see how it does, and let's try to grow from there. So we're not going to go asking for too much without having something out in the market first, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And we had another question from Bradley Harper. Our man on the ground at Legion's Con right now is saying, is there any reason for the thicker wrist pegs on Wave 3 figures? And will there be any other slight tweaks to the build or engineering of the Street Fighter figures going forward?
Thicker, like the actual peg that gets longer, right?
Yeah, I think that's what he meant.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're always going to tweak. So, like, tweaks come from two different places. One is from us wanting to refine and improve on something we did and iterate on it on the next one. And then another way a tweak comes is when a factory deems something like not possible to produce. So they have to like adjust it to work in production. The wrist peg thing was kind of like, you know, it wasn't like an intentional thing like, hey, make the wrist pegs longer. We were just trying to figure out how to make the wrists more stable and still get max like hinging, right? Because when the peg is short, when you hinge too much, the hand will tend to pop out. So having it deeper into the arm, you could maximize the like hinge, and even though it just sticks out of it, it's still like stable in the arm. So yeah.
Then we have another question from a Shroomy. He's asking, what would your dream license be if anything was possible for you?
It's a great question.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously Street Fighter was my dream license, but beyond that, off the top of my head, you know, I have a lot, and it's not necessarily like my number one next. It's just whatever's I feel like at the time. Like right now, off the top of my head, I think doing like a proper like Clone Wars line, like the look of the animation.
Oh man, that'd be so fucking awesome. Sick. Yeah, that'd be so great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's nice.
Oh wow, we got a few more super chats. Got a super chat from Brad. Brad, come on, what a giver this Bradley Harper is saying. Steve, it's a joke, obviously. He says Steve Buscemi in the Scooby-Doo line because I think he was like in one of the specials.
Oh really?
He was.
Shout out to Brad. Let's get Steve Buscemi. Make him look like he was in The Sopranos.
Hey,
Mm.
Rick, before you take the next super chat, this
Mhm.
question come up by a couple of people.
Yeah.
Any chance we get a Cammy figure in her bison outfit?
Well, so Cammy is definitely a fan favorite, and I think our Cammy is going to do well compared to our other characters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a character I want to revisit in the future. What version of it, I don't know yet, but there's definitely going to be more Cammies in the future.
That's
what
what
I
I'm
was gonna
talking
ask
about.
too. Like,
Yeah.
once you finish up and get everything you've like really wanted from the get go from Street
Mhm.
Fighter, like obviously the next place to go is, you know, alternate outfits and stuff. Is there any like specific alternate outfit that you've just been dying to do?
So I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter 6. So like for example, like Jury in her like onesie, like
hell yeah.
That's
I'm talking about jury supremacy, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
yeah, something like that would be awesome. Because like if it was like soft goods, it was like a pajama onesie, pink furry thing that doesn't like get in the way of like articulation, but it looks awesome. Yeah.
I'm just excited to hear you say the word
Yeah.
soft goods. So
Yeah.
just leave it at that.
You know, what one question I'll go to before we go to that super chat was one that we'd asked you before, and we talked about it one of the times you were here. We know that one of your like dream things that you said wouldn't happen just because the red tape is too crazy, and they're just not. Anybody that's dealt with Japanese companies, you've dealt with them a lot. You know, they're really hard to convince to do something that they don't normally do.
Mhm.
With your body of work now, with what you've done now, and you know where you're gonna go, do you feel more hopeful that Nintendo will look at you and be like, "Who's this?
Uh,
Who's this hot guy in the fucking
Yeah.
playground?" I know that that's really hard because like I said,
It's a great question.
anybody who's dealt with the Japanese industry knows that they just don't like to do things that they don't normally do. They don't want to go out of their norm. They don't want to give the license to anybody else. They like to stick with what they know. But do you feel more confident in yourself than last time you were here, where you just felt
no,
like, no,
I don't.
Nintendo is so tough.
So
I know
hard.
it. I know it. I still have to
But
ask.
Nintendo is definitely one of my dream licenses, actually.
Yeah,
Right, well,
I,
Good
you know,
callback.
you've dealt with them many times, these Japanese companies, and you know just as good as anybody else. It's just it's tough to get
Mhm,
them
yeah.
to do what they don't normally do, to stop giving the license to somebody else and do it to something to another company. It's just not. It's really really tough. It's really tough to deal with Japanese companies at times. It's really great to hear that. You know, Capcom has been so great to the point where you said you don't fear about that relationship because you
Well,
know it's
so
tough with the Japanese companies.
when you were asking the question, I thought you were going to ask about Resident Evil and not Nintendo.
No, I know better than Resident Evil.
But yeah, for that too, I would say like it's in the same boat as Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, yeah, those Japanese licenses, you know, with those creators that have like a much more power
Yeah.
with their games, you know, it's tough. I know that Resident Evil is definitely one of them where it's just,
Mhm.
you know, that creator power and, you know, what it takes to deal with it sometimes and, you know, make things work. I know it's tough. I know it's tough. I'll finally get
All
to
right.
this.
I
Good
say
question.
go left all the way, just like you guys did with the food line, and just go straight Atari classics and bring
Oh
out.
my god.
See,
Just a ball for Pong?
bro.
That'd be a great figure.
I was just about to say that. Just
Genius.
Atari games that are popular, bro.
Yeah.
Game five.
Smash Blaster donated a very generous super chat saying, I remember talking about the idea of JADA doing Shrek figures for the new movie. But aside from that, is there any possibility of figures from like the collab games like Ruby, Amingo, Sun from Capcom, or the Applejacks characters, the Rasta Man? So
Applejack's characters. I gotta
This
look
question
up.
went around the world.
Yeah, he has 5 different ways. Thank you, Smash Blaster.
The Rasta cinnamon stick. You
Yeah,
know
the Rasta cinnamon stick. That's the
Oh
boy.
wow! All right.
But you know, last time we were here when we talked about MVC characters, you said that it would be more of just like a general Capcom thing, if you were to be able to make them. Is that still like how it would have to be done if you did explore that in the future? It'd be like a Capcom thing and not necessarily a Darkstalkers line or.
It would probably have to be under its own brand, so it would be like Darkstalkers.
Oh, okay,
It
good.
would be Captain Commando. It would be like, you know, like
how does you know, this is an interesting question because he just asked it. Anybody that knows like Marvel vs. Capcom knows that like we don't know where the hell Amingo comes from. He was never in a game. There's like assumptions that he was like an unused Darkstalkers character, but how the hell would a Mingo work? Like, how would you work
I
that?
don't
Would
even
you
know
just
if it's
talk to them?
possible because like
Yeah,
I
because he
think
doesn't have a
like
game. He doesn't have a
Ruby
game.
Heart is also like a character made specifically for
Yeah,
NPC,
that's another character. Yeah, where
and
people just assume. Yeah.
yeah, it might just be like stuck in limbo, honestly.
Yeah, that's rough. I'm sure that's something you'd have to discuss with Capcom, but that is interesting because those characters they don't have an origin. People like dig in archives and kind of assume that they're from Darkstalkers, but we really don't have any sort of confirmation one way or another, where they'd fall in. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, couple more questions.
Yeah. We'll do a couple more. Let's see. Oh yeah, if this was asked before, apologies, but with the release of the Cyberpunk line, any plans for soft goods on Street Fighter?
Yeah, anything's possible. I mean, like, like us doing soft goods isn't just to try it on Cyberpunk and like call it a day. It's to try it and see if it works for us and keep
Period.
that in our arsenal and apply it to something in the future where it makes sense.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. We had a question from Donna Pops saying, "Can you get on a Ninja Scroll line or Ninja Gaiden? Is that something you've ever looked at? You guys did start to do anime. So that's interesting."
I mean, those two lines do kind of exist, right?
Yeah, they do. Like, but you know what? That Ninja Scroll line is it looks it's a little not great.
Can you
but
go back to that for a second though, Rick, before you leave that? Because I may not know what you know. Is there any interest to do more anime properties and bring them?
Yeah, that was something I was going to ask too. Yeah.
Within like there's a couple animes that are on my personal like dream list too.
Nice.
But all of them are probably not going to happen.
Is there some that you've tried to discuss that even if you don't know that would happen?
I
maybe?
mean,
like Tokyo Revengers, because you made a metal car for that, Juhn.
Well, so we've asked on certain properties multiple times in the past year or so, and every time there's just no progress. So
damn.
Yeah. When you say no progress, you mean they just like giving you guys a cold shoulder and no like response, or they just kind of on the bush?
No, well, that's the thing. Like, I don't know what's worse, like getting no response or getting a response saying no.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I've gotten the messages many times from these companies where like the Japanese will reply. It's like they have the same person working their customer service or their licensing department. We do not have any plans for that at this time. Thank you very much. Like. It's very, very cut and dry. Very like it's funny.
There's no room for negotiation.
No, they don't want a back and forth. They don't want that. It's interesting how those companies work. This is one that it's really popular. You've heard it a million times, but it's gonna keep getting asked. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know you don't know it. Any possibility of it? Such a popular license. I know that now you're starting to look into things that you don't know that well, but you think would sell. Is that one of those licenses, you think?
No, but as far as I know, even if we did want to, I think it might be difficult for us to get it.
Dealing with Nickelodeon's not great, you think?
I just don't know if that property is available to a company like us to execute on.
Best Action got it. They're pretty small. I don't think they do it any longer. But they did have it at one point. I think.
Let me ask you one thing.
Oh yeah, go.
Who at JADA Toys loves Mega Man X so much that they convince you to even entertain it? 3 years ago, when I asked you, you said no, just no. Period. No. But this year, during your interviews, you were like, "Hey, maybe Mega Man X." What changed, Juhn? Have you?
You know what?
Have you seen the light? Have you played the greatest game of all time, or what?
I haven't played it, but like a company like Capcom would love that too for them. So like, it's not like there would be any resistance from a license approval standpoint. So that's already like one step in that direction. And
it just seems like the natural flow of things, huh?
Yeah, and also like. Most people are going to bring up X when Mega Man is a conversation, right? So, like, there has to be a balance of us wanting to do like what we want to do and go deep in rosters, but there's also a balance of what do the fans want, you know? So we have to like kind of balance all of that and not just do, I'm only going to do what I personally want to do, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
And it's good because it's so close to a line that you actually have a lot of, personal stake in, Mega Man. So
Yeah.
the design is different, but very familiar at the same time.
Yeah, you already got traction too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good question to end at because it's still Capcom related and it'll talk about a little bit of what you referred to before. Choom89 asks, would the license to a game like Capcom Arcade Collection include the ability to make the character for multiple games, or does Capcom not license out collection-based games? Like, is that not a loophole for you to do?
No, well, so we wouldn't get the license for Capcom Fighting Collection. We would get individual licenses for each of the games in the collection.
Makes
But
sense.
if that game is a crossover game, then especially if it's a Marvel crossover game, then most likely it's going to be off the table.
Yeah.
But if it's a crossover with like SNK, that's probably something we could at least have a conversation with SNK, and it would be a dual license type of situation.
Mhm.
But I feel like something like SNK would be more realistic crossover wise than a Marvel.
Okay, yeah, that makes total sense.
I'm glad that you brought up SNK because I had brought it up a couple weeks ago to Rick and P about you guys doing SNK. So I'll just leave it at that. Happy to hear that. I'm gonna sneak in one thing before we get ready to let you go because I feel we're getting close to that time. I can't get a pulse on what properties you're familiar with and like what time came up in the 80s, 90s, whatever, 2000s. Have you ever heard of a little show called Exo Squad?
You know what? I don't remember the show, but I had the toys.
I'm exactly the same. I had like so many Exo Squad figures, the suits and the guys. I never watched that show. I never even knew it was a show until I came in high school and everybody was like, "Hey, look at Exo Squad." I was like, "Oh shit, that's where those toys came from." Like,
It is a very cool show, has a pretty dope following, and a license that nobody's really paying a lot of attention to right now. So I'm glad to hear that you at least have the toys and you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
Just planting seeds. That's all. Just planting seeds.
Pancho, since you weren't here, you don't have one you want to close out on or anything?
I asked it.
I mean, I just want to make sure.
Mega Man X.
Mega Man X. That's it.
I would say that just more Mega Man stuff. Like, is there like, I don't know, like is there like a specific robot master, a robot design that you're just like clamoring to do, but you just maybe you feel like you just want a little bit more experience under your belt or something like that?
So I'm kind of curious how the end result and the reception of the larger scale figures are going to do.
Yeah.
So we have Woodman and Bubbleman coming out like next year. So we're still working on them. The tooling's done, but we're refining them. So based on how those turn out and based on how the market reacts to it, that might open up more like possibilities. Because like the standard figure is pretty like straightforward for us now. Like it's not that difficult for us to keep doing standard size figures, but it's the oddly shaped or larger figures that we still don't have 100% like answer on yet. So based on how that does, it might shift like character selection moving forward.
I see. Yeah, I could totally. The reason I asked is because like Yellow Devil would be like insane in like the Mega Man line. Not only like the scale, but just he's so iconic. And it's from a game you love, so.
And I know we talked about the potential to do like Marvel versus Capcom characters and ways to sneak those in, but it would also be dope to get like a roll. And what is the dog's name?
Rush.
2-pack would be really cool and help build out that Marvel versus Capcom 2 shelf.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this Scrappy Dog idea. I know that's probably down the line because he
Well,
was like in the
Scrappy-Doo.
like
Scrappy
second
Doo.
Scrappy Doo, excuse me, second generation of Scooby Doo, right? That wasn't really like he
Yeah.
wasn't there
They-
originally. That was
And they
like
started showing the whole family, like Scooby Dum and
Yeah.
right.
all these guys.
He does.
You, we're still getting Skullman, right? You said we were gonna get that. Is that still happening? What's up? You love Skullman still?
I like him.
Okay, that's good. That's what I need to know. That's all I need to know. Enough said.
Oh shit.
I've been thinking of that Skullman ever
I
since you
really
mentioned
do
it
like
last
this
time.
Steve Buscemi idea for
Yeah.
Scooby Doo though.
Globetrotters,
that could be
Kareem, get
special.
out of here. Steve Buscemi.
Oh wow, Globetrotters, hell yeah.
Globetrotters are.
That'd be dope.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? I said I had one last one, but I thought about this earlier and forgot to ask. What would it take? And this would be very different for you guys. What would it take to get the rights to make live action Street Fighter Jean-Claude Van Damme Guile?
Oh man, you're speaking anti-June's language. He he doesn't
Look
like
how the
live-
whole demeanor changed. He's like, "Fuck you, David."
He don't. I don't even think it's just that game. When we had him on before, he said he doesn't want to do live action, right?
But just
Of
that
anything.
that one figure would be enough from the whole movie.
Yeah, so like even if we wanted to do it,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't even know who the license holder is. It might not even exist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could be like a defunct movie.
Yeah.
that's true.
So it might just be in limbo to where no one has the rights to them.
Not possible. Yeah, because it's fun. I don't even think we got a live action outside of those like 3 3/4 inch GI Joe tie-in figures.
Yeah.
I don't think that movie had figures.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think it was just that.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah,
there's
that's all I remember.
one thing somebody was talking about too is that, I mean, the red shirt Shaggy, that's got to be a Target exclusive, right? A red shirt, khaki pants, that's got to be Target.
Well,
gotta
they
talk
got
them
to
into
take
it.
the line first,
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say you got to talk them into that line. Just tell them like, hey, it's Scooby Doo #1, but #2, it's gonna be Target worker Shaggy. You
Could you
need
imagine?
Yeah, no, your skis there.
dude, that'd be such a miss. And you know, before you go, I keep saying that, but Paul Mart themselves announced that you do have another color exclusive coming with them, and it's going to be announced this year. Is that still on track? Is that still happening soon?
I'm not sure what he announced exactly, but I mean,
Yeah, he made a post basically saying that they do have another color exclusive and that it would be announced soonish. That's all he said.
so I mean, I think he's pretty happy with the way the first one did, and like,
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I know him personally, like, you know, like, so we're cool. So he's definitely interested in doing more in the future. Timing wise, I can't say like as far as like a time
Yeah.
frame of when the next one would be, but I'm sure we'll have another one with them at some point.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I was just at Paul Mart like a few weeks back, and
Mhm.
yeah, he's definitely happy with it. And he was telling us that he just can't keep, like, you know, all the popular characters on the shelf, really, that they sell really, really well over there.
JADA Toys 100% put Paul Mart on the map. Like, I remember that was a huge deal when that exclusive came out, and people were like, "Wait, Paul Mart? What the hell is that?" And then when when people started getting their orders in, they were like, "It's real! It's real!"
Yeah, even out of exclusives, you know, they trust Paul Mart a lot. You definitely help propel like their image to collectors really well. Because if you don't go to Frank's, you know, it is hard. If you're not a Frank's person, you know, you might not know. But yeah, it's good for them. I'm glad that you know, it's been a mutually beneficial relationship. That's great.
Yeah.
So, Jim, real quick before you go, is there anything from other companies that you are personally collecting right now, or anything that you are waiting for? We talked about Giant Man from Marvel Legends and a Dragonfly. We talked about this upcoming Dragon from Mythic Legions. Is there anything from any other line that personally you want to add to your collection in the coming months or year?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I have on pre-order, but I did get in a lot of new toys in the past month or so. Like, I really love this figure. I got him at New York. This figure is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Oh
like,
man, I just got that yesterday.
It's
Just
so
got it.
good.
Is that the
And
diamond?
like, there's something extra like magical about a small figure being articulated. So
I agree.
like even like a Scrappy Doo or like smaller characters in general, if we can like maximize articulation in such a small package, I think that
Mhm.
alone is a selling feature. Like outside
Yeah.
of what the character is. So like I really like this character.
agree.
As far as like what I'm looking forward to, I mean, I'm super excited about the X-Men 97 Sentinel.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
great. And I
I'm
mean,
excited about.
you know what I love about it is that I don't have to pay right now. I can
Yeah,
leave that problem to future
yeah,
Rick.
it's like
Rick,
next year, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Rick is gonna have
Yeah.
to figure it out come next April, brother.
Yeah.
Or whenever it is that they have it.
And then what else? Like I've been enjoying like the YOLO Park stuff this year.
Yeah.
I got these model kits in Hong Kong.
You're just
I
like
just
Rick.
bought one at Frankensons.
Yeah.
I just bought the
You bought the Prime?
I bought the Prime. This is a little one though.
Oh yeah, I have that one too.
Yeah, somebody bought the big one right before I got there with Mike Wisman. I was pissed. He
The
was like,
nerve.
dude, somebody came here
I
and he
don't-
bought all the big ones.
I don't normally collect non-transforming Transformers, but that Mega Prime looks so damn good.
Mm.
They look great. They look
This
great.
little one, it's the same scale as the one you have. It's the movie Megatron.
Yeah.
This figure is awesome.
Oh, okay. The movie that just came out, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really, really impressive figures, man. I mean, they're essentially just like Build-A-Figures. You know, they call them, you know, model kits or whatever.
Model
just 'cause
kits,
they come, you know, apart or whatever.
Have any of y'all seen that Transformers movie yet?
Yeah,
No, I didn't.
I'm probably the biggest Transformers fan in the cast right now, but
Yeah,
check it out. If you even love Transformers remotely, it is a love letter to Transformers fans and the mythos. They do a good job of tying in the cartoon, the comics. It's very, very well done.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things about it. I've been hearing good things about it.
To see it at all, but it was great. I'm glad my kids talked me into watching it. It was great.
yeah, I hear nothing but good things. We do have a last-minute super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Tau72.collects. You know what? We did ask him this already, so we'll just reiterate what he said. He's asking about a Scooby-Doo van, and he said if enough support is shown for the line, that you know that'll be something they look into. I don't know if it'll be RC like David was suggesting, but hopefully you guys show out for that line, and we'll get a van for these guys.
Yeah.
Juhn, one more off the wall ass idea, bro.
What are we scratching and sniffing this time? What are we scratching and sniffing?
I got one more for you. As the food lines continue and you start branching out and doing different things, build a figure Green Giant. Start incorporating Build-A-Figure parts into some of those food lines.
Oh my God. Green Giant.
Big ass, like 18-inch or 16-inch Green Giant, bro.
Nah,
money.
You got to do the Bounty Giant from the tissue paper.
Oh, the brawny.
The brawny.
Food all together. Get a Mr. Clean figure. Oh, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna get the Brawny, and then you have Brawny James come and promote it. We in all the universe, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, real talk, man. Nothing but continued success for you guys. You're not only releasing amazing products to the community, but you're also like thinking out of left field a little bit and bringing us things that we never thought we would get, brother. Just again, salute to you and the whole team. Keep rocking, man. We'll keep supporting you guys, and you guys are really killing it. You've made a huge impact in the industry.
Yeah, no doubt. Anything you want to plug? I mean, I guess you've been plugging this whole entire time, but anything specifically coming up? Any toy shows you're going to be at, or any place you may be in where they could see you or see the product coming up?
So the company isn't going to any more shows for the rest of the year, but we might have some reveals like online, maybe one more before the end of the year.
Okay.
And then for next year, we'll be at San Diego, and we will most likely also be at New York again. Potentially WonderCon. So there's going to be at least like 3 conventions we'll be at next year, and we'll be sure to have something new.
Have you guys been to DesignerCon before?
We haven't officially as a company, but I am going next week as a or a fan.
Okay.
Jada's not going to be there. So yeah, if you're at DesignerCon, maybe you'll run into me. But
Vegas,
other than
baby.
that, yeah.
I'm really surprised. Everybody comes out of DesignerCon. I've never made it, but I've been wanting to. Now they moved to Vegas. I don't know if I'm ever going to do it now. I can't believe that Medicom is there and nobody tries to talk to them and be like, "What the fuck's going on with these, man? Like, can we get a line on the team?"
They
that
don't
works on
show
it?"
that. It's
Yeah,
all,
they don't.
it's like
It's just
bare
bear
bricks.
bricks, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But getting that, like, give me somebody's email, like who's working on this
Yeah.
line, because it does suck that we don't have that, because they're just not sold here, that we don't have any sort of communication line
Yeah.
with that team or anything like that. I've reached out to Capcom before, but I don't even know who I'm talking to. I just kind of ask them like general questions, like, hey, can we do this? Like, how about this? And they just, typical Japanese response. We do not have any plans for that at this time. Thank you so much for your time. Like, man, like, the worst, the same reply every company in Japan gives you.
Yeah.
But I'd really want to like get in with somebody and like ask, like, hey man, like, do you know, or do any of you here work with that line at all, even though it's not on display? Because they're there. I know the Medicom goes every year for their Bear Bricks and any of their art series related stuff. And I'd love to get a line on that one day, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Before we go, we did have 2 super chats we missed. They're not questions.
All right.
Kwame Taylor just said he wanted to show us some love earlier. We were in the middle of a heated dragon debate. Thank you so much, Kwame Taylor, for always being in the chat.
Yeah, shout out to him.
And always giving us super chats. And then lastly, I think the other one we missed was Shelf Presence. Thank you so much, Shelf Presence. Toy Amigo, Toy Amigo is great. He's always in the chat. He's always giving super chats whenever June's on too, and any of the episodes. Shelf Presence is a giving man. He says, "Happy Friday, gents. June, keep bringing the fire. Jada is killing it, and we can't wait to see what's next." And while we were on the show, he also said, "R.I.P. Tony Todd, rest in power." He passed away while we were doing this show. Sad, but thank you. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
You know what?
Shelf Presence,
I forgot to say.
Brad.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say thank you to Brad, Shelf Presence, Kwame, Donna Pops, everybody that gave tonight. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Thanks, June. We appreciate you as always. Hopefully we'll get you back on in the new year after some of these new things drop before San Diego, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah, man, thank you, man. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
To you and the team, brother.
Peace, dude.
All right.
What are we doing?
Steve, that's on you.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess we will leave, huh? I was gonna say I forgot to say at the very top of the show, rest in peace to legendary composer and producer Quincy Jones. We lost Quincy Jones.
Yeah, we lost Quincy Jones as well.
That was
this past week.
91 years old, right?
91.
That's a man. What a lifetime. What a life.
Crazy. All right. I guess we getting out of here. What you guys watching though? You said Transformers was dope. What else is happening?
Transformers was dope.
I had something I wanted to say, but I can't remember. Some show. What was it?
I told the fellas I just watched Joker 2 last night.
Awful.
Ooh, what happened?
Awful.
Probably one of the most worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Damn.
It's fucking awful, man.
Can't wait.
It was terrible.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait to watch.
Terrible.
We watched Madam Web on Poncho's server together on
best time.
Discord.
Genuinely the best time.
It was the best time, but it was an awful movie. I think if I wouldn't have watched it with them, I would have been like annoyed.
Oh no,
for the
yeah,
day
me
or
too.
something. But it was awesome, like watching it with everybody and just fucking making fun of this shit and like how terrible it was. Awful film, really, really bad, terrible film.
It's still on Netflix, right?
I don't know. That shit needs to be on Trash Flicks. That shit needs to be on Tubi. That could have been a Tubi exclusive.
Yeah,
definitely could.
Marvel partnership. I just recently started watching From. You guys up on this show? From? Man, it's so crazy. I had like multiple people hit me up and over like a week.
What the heck is From?
4 different people. What's the actor's name who played Michael on Lost?
I never watched.
I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was like Mercutio and like the OG Romeo and Juliet. He was in Oz. the show about prison. Anyway, he's the lead actor. It's made by the same people who made Lost. It's pretty cool. I've been enjoying it so far, but like 4 people hit me up over the course of a week and were like, are you watching From? Pretty good show. And I am
what platform is it on? Huh?
And I'm dying to finish The Penguin. Last episode.
Somebody just asked me about The Penguin. I still haven't seen one episode, but what platform is From on?
I don't know. Some shit I had never heard of before. Epics or some shit. I'm watching it on Plex because I'm catching up. But I would recommend it if you've never heard of it or if you've never watched it. It's a pretty good show. I was walking in my house last night and looking out the windows, and I was kind of like not scared, but kind of just like shook. And I was like, because I had just watched like 2 episodes before bed, and it was like 12 o'clock at night, and we live in a very rural neighborhood where it's dark outside. And I laughed at myself and was like, "Good job, show. You got the boy going to bed feeling nervous."
You scared me.
You know what comes out? You know what came out an hour ago was Arcane. Season 2, baby. Arcane. That show was great.
You're not watching Arcane?
That's such a great show.
You didn't watch season 1 of Arcane?
And I don't give a shit about League of Legends.
I don't care anything about the game.
Nope. No interest.
But that was probably one of the best shows of 2023. Animated shows.
22, maybe. I don't remember the year, but just incredible show.
Oh, it's animated?
Yeah. Incredible show.
You should 100% watch it. You should watch it with your daughter. She would love it. Kendall would.
Yeah.
But yes, you are also messing up. You and your wife, you and Ash should watch The Penguin because you're watching it too, right, P?
Hell no.
Great. No, Penguin. Poncho is so behind on everything.
Why? You saw Batman?
Huh? Yeah, of course I see Batman. I don't watch new stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't watch nothing new. If it's new, Poncho ain't watched it.
I couldn't even make it to our own podcast.
You're watching Dan to Dan. You're watching Dan.
I'm not watching Dan to Dan.
He watched one episode and he didn't like it. I think.
You're not watching.
Yeah, we got to give P like 4 years, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years to get onto something. He just watched Sopranos.
Poncho's never even watched Coco.
Yeah, sure as hell have
He's so behind. You can't even imagine it.
You have. All right. My heart right now hurts so much. You didn't watch Coco?
At this point, I'm putting stuff off my watch list just to piss people off. And I'm finally seeing the fruits of my labor right now.
I'm also
said it's all going to plan.
I'm also seeing that pile of unopened figures over your corner.
That's just one pile. I got 3 more piles.
One of many.
Yeah. You sounding and looking like a real dad over there, sir.
Absolutely. I've been doing it.
One of many.
That's Kai's dad right there.
Absolutely. I do know this. I know you've been watching all the episodes of Dragon Ball Daima.
That's true. I do. I watch them at work.
I got one.
That's true.
I've actually been watching it and enjoying it. But am I wrong in that this is and I'm probably wrong, and I know that you will have no problem telling me I'm wrong, but it feels like a modern retelling of GT.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just Akira Toriyama doing GT. Like it's the same way that he did Broly.
Yeah.
He redid Broly. That was not he didn't write Broly. So I mean, honestly, like if you've really been paying attention, half of Dragon Ball Super has just been a giant love letter to GT. The entire Tournament of Power, all those characters are from GT. Like they're just like mirror images of like weird GT characters. So, but Daima is like the closest it's gotten, like so far. Yeah. Daima is good.
They even got Homeboy. Cool, they even got Homeboy that's with them right now. That looks kind of like Trunks.
Like Trunks, right?
GT. Yeah. It's a huge love letter.
Have you guys been enjoying it? Have you been enjoying Daima?
No, absolutely.
I fucking loved it.
I think visually, this is some of the best DB. I don't even know if you can call it DBZ, but this is some of the best Dragon Ball visually that we've gotten in a long time. And I didn't really rock with GT like that, but I've been enjoying the show a lot, and I've been looking forward to tuning in every week on Crunchyroll to watch. Yeah, it's been good
Very
stuff.
good. I'm
Yeah,
even
it's
thinking
been
about
great.
paying for Crunchyroll myself just to watch it. I'm currently stealing my friends, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm considering it.
I just told you. Didn't I tell you guys like a couple weeks ago? I just started paying for Crunchyroll because I used to leech off of Rick's. And
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Where have I been?
It's too many people using mine. He ended up not being able to use it. He's like, Rick, it's not letting me. And I was like, oh man, it's too many people on this shit.
You know, my daughter has gotten really heavy into anime, and it warms my heart. And it's something else for us to bond over because now she's the one telling me shows that I should watch. Because I told you guys she was the one who got me to watch all of Hunter x Hunter.
Hell yeah.
And I really, really enjoyed it. It was a really good show.
You know the X is silent, so it's Hunter x Hunter if you're nasty.
Yeah, it's Hunter x Hunter. But
if you want
to
get some street cred amongst your daughter's friends.
Look. So back to my daughter getting me into the show.
Man, you better be buying those SHF, David.
Oh,
come out.
That you showed me the other day, huh?
You better be buying those.
We'll see.
You know what? I really hope that Poncho will one day watch at least one episode of the new Ranma 1/2 because I think that the female voice of Ranma in that show would be an incredible replacement for Masako Nozawa.
Oh, you think so?
She sounds so good. She
Hell
sounds
yeah,
really,
man.
really good. Like sometimes when she does the voice, I'm like, oh my god, this sounds like a young fucking Masako. Like this is kind of crazy. She does like that like high pitch like that fucking Masako has. It sounds like a lot like her sometimes. Like oh my god, like this would be kind of nice. Because not that long ago I had a discussion with Poncho where I was like, man, we ever lose Masako, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna watch Dragon Ball. Because it just would seem like we'd be lost without her. But as soon as I watched that new Ranma, I was like, oh man, this lady that's Ranma sounds like so good. Yeah, I highly recommend anybody watch Ranma. It's the same person that did Ranma in the 80s. But
did you watch the OG Ranma back in the day?
I did. It was really big in the Latino community, Ranma, so that's the reason why I watched Ranma growing up. And I had a few VHS from like yard sales and like rental stores that would like go out of business. You remember those mom and pop rental stores? Like you used to have random anime DVDs and VHS because of those stores.
It was a random mom and pop video store. I'm not going to say this so it lives forever, but it was random mom and pop video stores that took me down the dark path of anime.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
and
you know what would surprisingly happen too when I was growing up is the library.
The library was nutty.
the library would go crazy.
I totally forgot about like video stores and like having an adult section.
Yeah,
I totally forgot that was a thing.
I was banned from my library because I stole a VHS copy of a children's educational film called Our Friend Martin.
Rick,
I love that movie.
Those things are free at the library. I don't know if you knew this, but you didn't have to steal.
Dude, when I was a kid, my library would charge me late fees and would charge, and eventually I had so many they were like. I was a child. I wasn't going to do that. My parents didn't speak English that well at the time, so they were like, "Oh, this is just this kid's movie." And like in high school, I went there to borrow a book, and they were like, "You owe $37 for a movie called Our Friend Martin. It's about a Martin Luther King."
Martin Luther King, yeah.
And these kids going back in time. I loved that movie growing up, man. That movie was.
The crazy thing about libraries and carrying videos, and then venturing into carrying anime. They would have no idea the movies that they were carrying, and they'll fuck around with the library, and they'll have like the Overfiend series,
Legends of the Overfiend.
And it's like you guys got straight hentai here, and you have no idea what you're carrying.
Yeah.
It's just Chinese cartoons. They're all the same.
Yeah, yeah. Those were the good old days. Yeah. So anyway, to take it back, I think Daima's doing really good. You should watch Dan to Dan, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it eventually. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know, there was the 2 episodes ago, everything like came into view for people because they watched that first episode, and a lot of people have that reaction you had, Poncho. They go, "Rick, what the fuck is going on here? Why is this happening to this character?" Like, and it doesn't come full circle until the 4th or 5th episode. And you get like backstory to things, and you're like, oh, this happened because of this, and this character was able to do this because of this, and like it's just so hard to tell people because you kind of ruin the moment where you're like, aha, this character is like this. So it's a really, really great series.
It's a great series. The character designs keep getting better as they evolve.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the ride, and it's been a good time.
If we don't get SHF Grandma, I'm gonna be pissed. I love her grandma. Her grandma's the best. Yeah. I know we're getting a Turbo Granny for sure. We're already getting the main boy when he's transformed, Okarun, and we're getting Momo already for SHF. So
and
hopefully get more.
And the opening intro song, as the kids say, slaps.
Oh man. And you know what's funny? I don't know if you saw, Poncho. Somebody found the sample where they stole the sound of Pikmin.
That's crazy.
Like when everybody was like, wow, in the song it sounds like Pikmin going like beep, 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 beep. And then somebody found the isolation of like in a game where the Pikmin are saying the exact thing that's in the song.
Yeah,
so that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
and cool. On Tuesday, Deadpool and Wolverine comes out for Disney Plus. So that's gonna be great for anybody that has been waiting for that. Yeah, comes out on Tuesday. Oh, Captain McKay hit us with a super chat. Shout out to Captain McKay Random, one of the best doing stop motions out right now. Just
shout
incredibly, shout out to Mike. Just what a wonderful lock of hair that man has at all times.
Just the one.
Says just the singular one lock of hair. Says much love, gentlemen. Love seeing all the October output, and these new Mythic Legions are out of control, brother. They're out of fucking control. They got a $600 dragon out. It's crazy.
$500.
$500. 400. Who knows?
Not confirmed yet.
Unconfirmed. Unconfirmed.
Confirmation.
You need a sound stage to animate that shit, Mike.
I don't even know where it's gonna go. P, did you see this Mythic Legions dragon?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That thing looks crazy.
What are your thoughts?
I think it looks great. You know, definitely a centerpiece. Definitely a invites a lot of looky-loos into your collection room for sure.
Your neighbor's gonna walk past your door and, hey, what's with that dragon?
It's true.
And
I'm with you, David. I just don't know where I'd put it. Like,
I have no idea where it's gonna
where
go.
would it go? It doesn't go. Like, I got my Purunga from SHF, and like it just sits on top of like this TV stand that's like to the left, to the right of me. Like, I can't, if it doesn't fit my Detolf, it's like hard for me.
Bro, I haven't even opened my HasLab Well, I haven't opened up a bunch of shit, but I haven't opened my HasLab Unicron.
Oh my God.
That's not true. I opened my HasLab Unicron, and when I saw the base, I realized that I had no shelving big enough to hold it, and I was discouraged and just boxed it all back up because I don't know where it will live in my collection right now.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I was gonna say something very interesting to you. Was it about that dragon? Give me a couple ticks and it'll come back to me. But it was something I wanted to ask you specifically.
For sure. I opened King Cold this week. That guy's huge. It's massive.
Gigantor?
Huge. And it's great also. It's not just another phoned in battle armor figure. I love it when SHF battle jackets, like the shoulder tucks in to the breastplate of the armor. They just have to redo every single character wearing a battle jacket at this point.
That's my
and then
type.
just do that.
That's
it's
my
like
type.
I look at like the Ginyu Force now, and I'm just like, I'm disappointed that none of their shoulder armors do any of that.
Look, you got
you right now is like, wait, did you just say re-release?
No, they gotta redo it. Dude.
Did you buy this, Poncho?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you made a huge mistake. I don't know what to tell you. You made a huge mistake.
I mean, I'm sure it's great. I have no problems with it. I didn't even watch the Daredevil show, and that's free. So, well, it's not free.
You never watched the Daredevil show?
So I did watch it when it first came out, but I cared so little about it, I forgot the entire thing. And then I started rewatching it when Kai was born, when he was like up throughout the whole night, and I would just like hold him and like knock out like 2 or 3 episodes. And it's good. Like I don't think it's bad or anything. It just, it just hasn't gripped me.
Wow. Oh wow, that's a good point, Brian. October, I hear you can get October merch. Is that true?
Oh shit! Yeah, that is true.
Is there any truth to that?
That is true. Yeah, you can.
People want to know.
You can buy October merch. I think there's a link in the description below.
There is.
I redesigned the logo and the prompt list to work better on a shirt. The idea of the shirt is just like like a tour date shirt or something for like a band you like or a comic or whatever, any kind of live show where it has like all the dates on the back and stuff. It's cool. I ordered a sample, so I should be getting mine on Monday. And a couple of people from around the community have ordered it. So huge thanks to everybody who's ordered it. And once you get it, be sure to take pictures, tag A.C.B.A, tag me. We'll blast it out.
Yeah,
Dude,
we'll blast you. We'll put you on the stories. We'll put you on the page. And it's big boy friendly. I know last week we did it and we were hyping it up, and then at the end somebody was like, "Man, but y'all ain't gonna make it in 4X, baby. It's in any size you want."
Absolutely.
They're making it because we're not producing. We're using a third party site, same site that the Toy Migos use. So if you've ever bought merch for the Toy Migos, you're gonna know and love this site too. And they got any size you want, man. You need the big boy size. You need a little room in the wiggle. It'll be there.
Yeah, it's nice.
A
little room in the wiggle. You need to.
I will say I was very impressed when I saw the final like prototype that you showed, the tour date idea. Chef kiss, brother. Because then it becomes a collectible in and of itself each year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing.
I did receive some feedback on my Instagram where someone was saying like, I wish it didn't have a year, but I was like, oh dude, well I think that's the best part, that like
it is.
Because but they were like, I just wish it didn't have a year so I could wear it other years. And I'm like, dude, wear it any year you want.
What you saying?
That's kind of like the point of like, I was there at that concert.
Yeah, I survived this.
Right.
Because at first I was thinking stuff like, like I survive October, but that's like, I don't know, that stuff's kind of corny to me.
That's low hanging fruit.
It's also kind of like yeah, no, it's whack.
That's too low hanging.
But I thought like, I felt like we already had like the perfect assets for a shirt already made. Just needs a little bit more tweaking. And it's just cool. I think it'd be cool if like you're wearing that around and then people like read the back of your shirt. They're like, yeah, what is this? Like, what are all these things? And then you go, oh, I'm part of a worldwide brotherhood of toy photographers.
Yeah.
Conversation start.
That's pretty cool.
So, all right, we're getting out of here. That's 11:30.
Yeah, right after this, I'm opening.
Fuck yeah!
I'm opening all of these Pokemon cards. So
fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Come to my stream.
Is that why you were late? You were out here shopping Pokemon?
No.
Don't lie to me.
I was putting my young son to bed. He
I
comes
knew.
first.
I figured your darling young son,
Daddy P.
But yeah, directly after this stream, I'm opening these up. Preliminary judging for October is almost done. There are over 5,000 emails in the October
yuck
inbox right now. We actually ran out of space. We ran out of Gmail space, like
that's the worst.
Around the middle of the month. So I had to buy space.
$1.99 a month or what?
Yeah, but that's a good value, for
it'll go away after you save them all,
That's true. Anyway, but there's about 5,000, over 5,000, and I think there's less than 500 left to go through. That's preliminary judging.
Nice.
After that, we're gonna move into the second to last round of judging, and then we'll definitely be announcing the winners super soon. I want to go ahead and get this turnaround time much faster in record time this year, because of our lovely sponsors.
Hell yeah.
Titans Toys, here on Instagram, they so generously put up over, I think, like $300 in store credit for their store, as well as like their great hoodies
and merch.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Mike, High School Creations, put up an insane amount of product. He put up 3 walls each for first, second, and third prize, and then the random winner will get a wall as well. So
beautiful.
Big shout out to High School Creations for putting up those prizes. Big shout out to Titan Toys.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of wall XDs popping up in quite a bit of shots across.
And he's going to DesignerCon next week, so he'll have prototypes out there. So yeah, the turnaround time for October is going to be much quicker this year. And good luck to everybody who entered, and a huge thank you to everybody who shot and entered, and even if you were just out sharing and liking it on your favorite artist photos, thank you for that too, to get a lot of people's names out there.
I saw a lot more people this year saying that they were able to make it through all 31 days.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people are doing all 31 days compared to like the first year. Like the first year there was maybe there was less than 10 of us who did it. It was I know for sure me, Simon Hill, Brian Carter. That's all I can think of off the top of my head, but I know there were more.
It really is like an Iron Man of toy photography.
Yeah, it's definitely a test of endurance. That's for sure.
It is. So
it's the New York Marathon of toy pictures.
Shout out to everybody who participated. This is a competition that continues to grow every year. It truly is P's baby before Kai. And so to see it grow up and mature to what it's become, and for the community to really latch onto it, is a testament to his commitment and A.C.B.A.'s commitment and you guys' commitment. So thank you all, and just looking forward to seeing what these results are going to be.
That's
5,000 is what you said? Over 5,000?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Man.
It gets nuttier and nuttier every year. And,
yeah, let's see who's placing this year, huh?
Yeah,
can't wait. And then once October's over, maybe some news, maybe some pipeline stuff. Who knows?
Good conversation today.
We'll have some pipeline reveals, some render reveals coming up here.
The pipeline reveals, the renders, artist renders.
Good conversations taking place today.
Pre-painted protos.
Yeah, that's it for me. Watch me open cards and October rolled. That's it. Go ahead.
Thanks to Juhn for coming on this evening. It was a very informative.
Wonderful time with Juhn.
Usual.
Yeah, great interview. Cool guy.
What a guy.
Cool.
Yeah,
literally and figuratively.
Yeah, he's the best. I mean, I didn't break, but I fumbled a fucking prototype in the middle of a bar in the middle of the night, and he was just like, "Oh, it's okay," and he just kind of looking down, and I was like, "No, man, I can't find the fucking chain." So shout out to Juhn.
Yeah, he's a super chill guy.
What a guy.
What are the rules around these parts about theories or potential spoilers for upcoming films? Because I have one.
Do as you please, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was talking to you guys about it earlier. I don't know if you all have been hearing the rumblings, but word around the old movie studio lot is that a very well-loved actor in the community is getting ready to make his debut in the Thunderbolts. And if this holds true, it explains why the title of the movie is Thunderbolts with a
asterisk.
Yeah.
What do the rumors say? What are they saying?
Well, the rumors are, and again, if you don't want to be spoiled about Thunderbolts, turn off at this point. But the rumor mill is saying that Matthew McConaughey will be revealed as Norman Osborn. That he has been in the MCU behind the scenes pulling the strings. And the connection that I made today was, if that rumor holds up, that makes all the sense, because the Thunderbolts would then essentially be Thunderbolts with an asterisk, would essentially be his prototype for what becomes the Dark Avengers. Because technically in the MCU right now, the Avengers are gone. And so what a time to introduce Norman Osborn. And given that the MCU is kind of like 616 adjacent, if they introduce Norman Osborn this way, they can back end introduce him to then being a villain for Spider-Man and build that relationship up from there, because he's technically introduced as the founder of the Thunderbolts, Dark Avengers, and later go on to become the Green Goblin and the nemesis of Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it could go two different ways too, whether it's Matthew McConaughey or not. Like, it could be interesting. Like, he could either see Norman and think oh, I got to stop him from corrupting himself, or he could see Norman for who he really is and nobody else fucking believes him, and everybody's like, dude, this Norman guy's fucking great. What are you talking about? Yeah. And he's like, no, you don't understand. I met the other Norman. He's a fucking psychopath. Like, don't trust this one. Like, Who knows? It could be played in an interesting way just because he has the knowledge of a Norman Osborn, how it could go. Be interesting.
Cap Lives is saying they're gonna have to explain where the fuck he was in No Way Home. They said Norman doesn't exist. In No Way Home, Norman Osborn said someone else is living in my house.
Yeah, he said someone else is living in my house.
So
Yeah, he just said-
that's a perfect backdoor.
The only thing he said was that there was no Oscorp.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
Oscorp, but somebody else is living in my house.
And technically, if he didn't want there to be a formal Oscorp because he's pulling the strings behind the scenes and working with Val, they could say he's like government affiliated or whatever, and he's the person that's funding her moves. And Oscorp comes later. But again, the fact that the Sentry is already in Thunderbolts, I don't think anyone else on that team is in the Dark Avengers proper, but it does line up. And I will be very honest with you. The idea of Matthew McConaughey playing Norman Osborn and going up against Tom Holland or leading his own Avengers team is very appealing to me.
Yeah, I could see Matthew McConaughey playing a good Norman Osborn for sure.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Peter.
With the cigarette meme.
Yeah. Watching Captain America and Tony come back as Dr. Doom.
It would be cool if you had a black costume, right? You know, it'd be great.
Yeah. Last thing, I'm gonna plug this. In comics right now, if you have not read it, pick up Avengers versus Aliens, AVA.
What?
It's set in an alternate universe where the Avengers are going up against xenomorphs. It's written by Brian Michael Bendis, I believe. Some really good shit going on in there. I'll just say that. The first issue just dropped. If you have not read it, I highly recommend picking it up. You will not be disappointed. Avengers versus Aliens. Really good stuff.
J. Michael Johnson said his Lincoln glider. That would be insane just because the fucking Lincoln commercials. That would be unreal.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty creative. Cross
Lincoln.
promo for that. It's got a big Lincoln logo on the front of it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Wasn't he in The Lincoln Lawyer too?
I think he was the Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah,
This is coming together.
That's the point. You guys are both high, right?
June is missing some gems. We should have kept him on.
Buick. He does car commercials for Buick, right?
No, he does Lincoln. Buick is Shaq. You know damn well you don't fit in that Buick. Shaq.
Okay.
All right, we out of here.
Let's get out of here. Let Poncho open these cards.
Jonathan Hickman. Thank you, Cap Lives. I said Brian Michael Bendis, but it is Jonathan Hickman.
Oh, okay. When you said Bendis, I was just like, that can't be good. But all right.
Yeah. I got everybody hyped. Then I said Bendis, and everybody was like, oh. Yeah.
Basically.
Jonathan Hickman is crushing it with so far issue 1, Avengers versus Aliens. If you haven't picked it up, pick it up. It's a good read.
I mean, the fact that it's in the alternate reality or whatever, he could really kind of like get crazy. So I could see how that could be cool. Yeah, and obviously Hickman was the architect of the modern Secret Wars too. So partially. Yeah. He saw it through to that. Yeah. But all right, let's get out of here. What you guys got going on real quick? Obviously P has a lot on his plate with the whole October thing, so he already mentioned that.
What's up? I'm here on this channel whenever we do the podcast. That's what I have going on.
Cool.
Follow me, RickDom2345. That's me.
Got some cool A.C.B.A. stuff coming up. Just stay tuned, brothers.
Cool.
October was another huge success. Having some meetings behind the scenes, and 2025 is going to be lit. Stay tuned.
No doubt. See, anything else besides October stuff?
I'm like slowly, I guess this is October adjacent, but like I'm slowly like trickling out photos that didn't make the cut this month. I said it a lot like during the month, but like there are a lot of times this month that I would shoot entire displays and I would just be like, no, I don't want to do this, and then I would just shoot like something else. Like a lot of the days I was shooting like 2 or 3 displays a day. So I have like a couple of photos from October that I've just been like putting out here and there. And then luckily they're all doing quite well. And I thought that people would hate them, but that's just me.
Toy photography Iron Man. That is really what it is, and it's crazy.
Oh, yeah,
Crazy.
All right, I ain't got nothing really special going on, but I am gonna open some stuff this weekend just to kind of mess around. So yeah, we'll see.
That giant man fist.
Yeah, I'm gonna send out the email at least for the eyes.
Yeah, definitely get
All
on
right.
that.
I'll touch base with you guys in the virtual world when the Dragonfly arrives. But other than that, thanks everybody for hanging out this evening. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for all the great questions. And once again, thanks to Juhn. Thanks to P for always producing the show. This guy's the hardest working man in show business here. And yeah, thanks to David for filling in for Fabio. Shout out to Fabio wherever he is. We love you. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell down there.
Goodbye.
And until next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Hey, I just got Dawson today too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, did you buy my Target?
I did. Okay, goodbye. Yeah, I found like my Target never ever stops JADA stuff. Like they're always gone by the time I get there. And then just one lonely Dawson. There's a Chun-Li too.
Yeah, you know what? That's the wave of Bison, Dawson, and you should be getting DJ anytime
You should. You were looking for Dalzine because my store's got it a couple times, and I didn't know you needed it. Who else do you need from the line?